It's time for a desert storm. The America West Arena is rocking thanks to one hero who makes even the toughest head coach smile. His real name is Hernandez, but in Arizona you just say Hunky. Need a big catch? No problem. Hunky Cooper can take to the skies. Gotta have a momentum-changing kick return? Dial number 14. He'll collect it for you. He's the reigning Iron Man of the year and has the Rattlers pointed towards another Arena Bowl. And who says there's no pro football in Los Angeles? The LA Avengers are part of Arena Football's new millennium. They're a big market team, building their future around big-time players. Can they skin the snakes in the Valley of the Sun? Find out next. In the Arena Football League, they call it the ultimate home field advantage. Tonight, TNN Sports is live at the America West Arena in downtown Phoenix. Tomorrow night, it's Los Angeles and Phoenix. Tonight, it's Los Angeles and Arizona. Week 5 of the Arena Football League. Hi, everybody. Eli Gold, along with former Arizona standout, the Cardinals and Seattle Seahawk, Ed Cunningham. Tomorrow night, you've got the Suns and the Lakers in this building. But this evening, everybody's talking Arena Football League, and the scoring numbers could rival tomorrow night. Cedric Bonner, quarterback here locally for Arizona, their all-time great passer. He has put up some numbers that are downright gaudy.
And it's amazing. You talk about the NBA, a great athlete as well. Played basketball at Cal State Northridge. Incredible numbers through the career of Cedric Bonner. Spent 98 with the Atlanta Falcons on their Super Bowl team. Big guy at 6'4", 240 pounds. Amazingly accurate throwing off of his back foot. And you talked about his gaudy numbers. Over 15,000 career passing yards. As we take a look at the career numbers, and he's 17 short of 300 career touchdowns, with the most impressive stat, 50 and 17 as a starter for the Rattlers.
Now, for the Los Angeles Avengers, they've made a quarterbacking change. Scott Simptonfelter had been their starting quarterback for the last 4 weeks. They went 0-4. Tonight, Todd Marinovich gets the start. Remember old Todd Marinovich? It's not been since the LA Raiders back in 1992 against the Philadelphia Eagles that last he started a game at quarterback.
A natural in LA is Todd Marinovich. USC took them to a Rose Bowl and won against Michigan. First-round pick of the Raiders. It's been 7 years and 7 months since Todd Marinovich started as a quarterback in a professional football game. We asked about the excitement level he will feel tonight under center.
Excited to get back in there and play a whole game, because I've had a quarter here and there, but not the experience of playing 4 quarters. So I'm excited.
He's waited all this time, and he's put in his time. He's done everything I've asked him through the preseason, through our first 4 games. He's studied very hard. I think he has a good understanding of arena football, but now he's very, very excited about what's getting ready to happen.
He is soft-spoken, but indeed he is excited, and so is that man. Coach Brock says, I believe Marinovich can get the job done, but Arizona, perennial AFL powerhouses, should be a good one from America West Arena.
You guys go ahead. I'll make the call.
No! Oh, come on, brother. Don't dial 0. Wrong connect with 1-800-CALL-ATT.
What was that?
Brother, you better save yourself. You can save big bucks with 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls. It's the same low rate every minute, everywhere. Now, come on, dial down the center.
Help me, please.
1-800-CALL-ATT. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
That was close.
I'm going in the woods.
Garden Claw, one of America's favorite garden tools, is good as gold. It adjusts to fit gardeners of all sizes. Garden Claw Gold helps you cultivate, loosen, aerate, and weed without being tough on your back. The claw's steel tines tear through all kinds of soil, even clay, bringing moisture and oxygen to plants' roots. And it turns weeds and leaves into beneficial mulch. Garden Claw Gold makes a great gift.
Available at Lowe's and participating Ace, True Value, and Do It Best hardware stores. Makes a great gift.
They're
not coming out. We're going in to get them. You're always hot. You're always sweating. It's a cat and mouse game.
We have some of the hottest detectives on the street to switch antiperspirant.
Degree Ultra Dry.
Body heat activator.
Does this work?
When your body heat rises, Degree's powerful Ultra Dry form releases extra protection when you need it most.
When the pressure is on, the heat is on, Degree kept up with me. It kept me dry. Degree kicks butt.
Degree Ultra Dry.
That stuff kicks in and takes care of business.
Your body heat turns it on.
Book 'em.
Shoulder pads, knee pads. Now there's a new pad to keep you in the game. Boom! Tough Actin Tenactin Sports Wipes. Get to those hard-to-reach places with the only leading brand that's so tough it prevents athlete's foot. Wipe out athlete's foot. New Tenactin Sports Wipes.
This one, Dad.
This Mother's Day.
Whoa, what are you doing?
During Sears Gift for Every Mom sale.
Ooh, you smell good.
Really surprise her with this 3-piece gift, free with any $40 fragrance purchase.
What's in the bag? Huh?
Arena football on TNN is being brought to you by Degree, the body heat activated antiperspirant. And by Tenactin for tough cases of athlete's foot. There's Tough Actin, Tenactin. Welcome to the America West Arena. The Arizona Rattlers coming in off an upset loss to Nashville a week ago. Their head coach, former Dallas Cowboy and Arizona State quarterback Danny White, the only head coach the Rattlers have ever had. A few moments ago, he and Jill Arrington chatted down on the field.
Thanks, Eli. Well, you were favored to come into this game undefeated. You were 3-0 until last week, and then you ran into some problems. What happened, and what have you done to make some changes for tonight?
Well, what happened is we fumbled 4 snaps from center, and 2 of them resulted in immediate touchdowns, and the other 2 took touchdown opportunities away from us. So it was basically like spotting them 40 points at the start of the game. And now Nashville's a good team, and you just can't give a good team that kind of a head start. And, you know, that basically was it. And what we've done about it is nothing. I really feel like we played well. If it weren't for those 4 plays, I think it would have been a real good game. And so I think the worst thing we could have done would have been to dwell on it too much.
All right, well, good luck tonight.
Thanks, Jill.
Back to you, Eli.
Jill, thank you. And of course, Jill will be downstairs all evening long. There is Stan Brock, formerly the head coach of the Portland Forest Dragons for the last 3 years. Matter of fact, he brought Portland in here a year ago and posted a 55-35 win over the Rattlers. Chris Jackson is the deep man, averages 18 yards per return. Former NFL kicker for the New York Giants, Bjorn Nitmo, handles the kickoff chores. Glad you're with us on TNN. It's live off the net and a great open field tackle. Hard work getting down the field on good efforts by Jai Hill. Here's Todd Marinovich now coming in to quarterback the Los Angeles Avengers. Marinovich, back in the old days, player of the year in high school, said USA Today. In college, had many USC records in his 1989 through 1990 run there. He's been in Canada. He's been in NFL Europe. He's been around in the NFL. Here's Marinovich to air it out early and often looking, overthrows and nearly picked off by Cecil Doggett. Larry Thompson was the intended receiver. Checking out the Los Angeles offense, there's the starting unit. It includes Chris Jackson, who was Ryan Leaf's favorite target when they were together at Washington State. Drakes Clark, Victor Hall will be playing both tight end and fullback this evening.
And Victor Hall, a guy that Stan Brock brought in from Orlando, he said he has far exceeded all of his expectations.
On the 2nd and 10 play, quick release to Larry Thompson, fights his way out across the 15-yard line. Checking now the Arizona starting defensive unit. Ingram Kenny, Stacey Evans, a first-team all-rookie performer a year ago. The venerable Hunky Cooper and Bob McMillan, with Gatewood, Walker, and Cecil Doggett, Arizona's top cover guy.
And their career leader in passes defensed. He was all-world league for Frankfurt back in 1997.
From their own 15, the running game getting in gear with Dan Juan McGee, who'll get to the 16-yard line. Stacey Evans stacks him up. McGee was with Portland last year, came over with coach Stan Brock, and has not been the workhorse because Andy Chilcote is normally the go-to fullback.
Chilcote burst of bursa sac in his knee last week. And when we were talking to Stan Brock, he said Chilcote finished the game and we were amazed, but he couldn't make the trip. So Dan Juan will get most of the work at fullback tonight and the MAC linebacker spot.
From their own 17, Marinovich looking. Fires a bullet. It is off the mark, low to Chris Jackson. Or do they say he makes the grab? Yes, they'll say he makes the grab, though Cecil Doggett doesn't like the call. One lick.
And right away you see the problems that Marinovich is going to have. This ball was thrown late. Good call by the official. It looked like the left hand got under by Chris Jackson. The official trailing the play saw that. Doggett had good coverage, but that ball got there late, Eli, and that's the one thing Stan Brock said. You have to watch with guys coming from outdoor stadium-played football. They try to wait till the guy's open, and with one-on-one coverage, you have to throw it before they're open.
From the Arizona 21, Marinovich across the middle. Strike is there to the 5-yard line. Chris Jackson run out by Cecil Doggett. Hey, how about just the adrenaline rush, Ed, of coming back to start for the first time in 7 years?
Well, what I've noticed early on is the ball's fluttering a little bit on Marinovich. He's not throwing a tight spiral. His obvious favorite target early is this guy, Chris Jackson. You're going to see Cecil Doggett on him all night. Doggett, the best cover guy. Jackson became the offensive specialist. Doesn't go both ways anymore after the second game and has put up some very good numbers. Currently 9th in the AFL in receiving.
Marinovich 3 of 4, 39 yards in this first drive. On the pitch, that was Cedric Walker who snuffs that play out beautifully. Man, what a nice read there. Chris Jackson got the football as the man in motion, but nobody was fooled.
Cedric Walker is the guy that they allow to play up on the line of scrimmage, the defensive back. He leads this team in tackles for loss, and you will not find a better tackler in any football. Cedric Walker set an AFL record back in 1998 with 108 tackles, since been broken. Had some knee problems last year, actually blew out his knee. They're glad to have him back.
An intimidating hitter. Jackson in motion. From the 7, Marinovich looks to Jackson. Touchdown. But there are flags at the 13-yard line.
I believe they're going to get a late hit on Marinovich over by the dasher boards.
Marinovich and Jackson just improvising after everything was taken.
Tell the official to turn around.
Steve Hammond is our referee.
We're over here.
It's a crew basically out of the Big Ten.
So they're not used to a passing league, are they?
Roughing the passer, defense number 93. That penalty will be enforced.
Great coverage by Arizona downfield. Stacey Evans getting pressure from the backside. Hunky Cooper came in a little late. I don't know about that call, but Chris Jackson was covered very well by Doggett. That was a great throw by Marinovich over the top of the coverage.
So the touchdown for Jackson. It's his 6th receiving touchdown of the year. The holder is Scott Semtemfelter, the starting quarterback in the first 4 weeks. Kyle Pooler handles the kicks, and Kyle is now 16 of 19 on the year in conversions. So it's been a while, but Todd Marinovich is celebrating as a starter again for the first time since 1992.
America West Arena in the first quarter. The Avengers lead the Rattlers 7-0. Let's focus on tonight's superstar spotlight. Hunky Cooper is the heart and soul of this Arizona Rattler team. Last season's Iron Man of the Year, Cooper is a true two-way player. He excels as a receiver, linebacker, and kick returner. He's currently 2nd in the league in all-purpose yards for the season. You better look for Cooper to add to those numbers tonight. Back to you, Eli.
Jill, thank you. And he was at UNLV. He was an All-America as a punt returner. Of course, in this league, you don't punt, but as a kickoff return man, he's averaging 23 yards per. Kyle Pooler boots it away. The Hunkmeister off the net to the 5, and he goes no further as Anthony Rice makes a nice stop on.
You just gave him a new nickname. I've never heard that.
The Hunkmeister. His given name is Hernandez, and there's a story behind that.
He was named after a friend of his father's who died in Vietnam. Hernandez was his last name.
Indeed so. There's Cedric Bonner. Spells his first name, as you see, anything unlike Cedric, but that's how you pronounce it. Coming in, he's 86 of 136 on the year. had a 39-yard touchdown pass as the long streak of the season. Hunky Cooper in motion. Bonner going the distance. Looking long, overthrows Maurice Bryant, who has been bothered by a right hamstring pull and has been reactivated.
And he did not look full speed on that post route.
There's the Arizona offense led by Cedric Bonner. Randy Gatewood, he's a good receiver, third all-time on the Rattlers receiving list. Ingram, Kenny, and Evans. Darren Kenny, one of the Arena Football League's very best linemen.
A guy who was an All-American center at Lycoming College, offensive lineman, has really turned himself into a good defensive lineman. Back in '98, he led Arizona in sacks.
Lycoming Division III, if you're not familiar. Bryant in motion. The stop and the strike to the 10. Fumbles the football. Larry Thompson's got it. And it's a recovery for Los Angeles. Larry Thompson makes the recovery as Bryant was separated from the football.
And that's what killed Arizona last week against Nashville. They had 4 fumbled exchanges, 2 of them between the center and the quarterback. 2 of them were recovered for touchdowns. This time, Bryant, a good hit as Anthony Rice closes on the ball. But remember, you had mentioned Bryant has not played the last 2 ball games. Very surprised that he was active tonight. And Danny White, last week's game, he said, hey, guys, if we don't fumble the ball 4 times, we probably win that game going away. They cannot allow L.A. these types of gifts.
Marinovich going forward here quickly. It is intercepted. No. Knocked away by Cecil Doggett on a great diving defensive stop. Couldn't quite come up with the intercept. It would have been a dandy and a big one right there. Would have been number 3 of the year for Cecil.
And Doggett, one of those guys who will play underneath the receiver at all times. He is a make or break kind of defensive back. The Rattlers' all-time leader in interceptions. Those types of plays will keep defensive coordinators up late at night, but he's one of the best cover guys in the AFL. First team All-AFL last year.
He's led the team in interceptions in each of the last 2 seasons. On the 2nd and 10, high strike that time, and it's incomplete to Chris Jackson.
Wow.
Chris Jackson is again. Cecil Doggett is there. Here's a guy who's had a cup of coffee with the Chargers, free agent with the Jets, then played with the Frankfurt Galaxy. Already, he has a tackle and 3 passes broken up tonight.
And what you notice is the body control. He didn't go through Chris Jackson to make that play. If he does, that's an easy call for the official on pass interference. Great body control by Doggett.
L.A. 43% in third down conversions coming in. Here's a 3rd and 10. Deflected at the line of scrimmage by Bob McMillan, the linebacker out of Illinois Benedictine, getting in there to deflect the pass. The 2nd time he's done that this season.
And what great defense by Arizona. When I talked to Terry Karg, the offensive coordinator of L.A., he said, you know, I don't know that I'm going to use the tight end inside the midfield stripe. That time he did. And Charlie Morris, the defensive end who was rushing over Victor Hall, the tight end, came off in coverage and did not allow him to get open.
A 28-yard attempt. Kick on the way. No good. Loose football. Live football covered by Randy Gatewood. And the Rattlers will have the football 1st and 10 from their own 9-yard line as Kyle Pooler is now 5 of 15 in field goals this year. And that is the first one that he has missed from that range of 28 yards away. Glad you're with us. Just getting going here at America West Arena. 7-0 Los Angeles. Bit after 6 o'clock Pacific time, America West Arena here in downtown Phoenix. Glad you're with us. Eli Gold, Ed Cunningham, Sam Weich is here, and of course Jill Arrington, as we've got ourselves a good one going. The Avengers behind Todd Marinovich taking the early 7-0 lead over Arizona.
And Arizona really dodged a bullet there. They got the fumble and held L.A. to an attempted field goal that Kyle Pooler missed. So back on offense they go.
Randy Gatewood is the man in motion. There's Paul Reynolds, the fullback, who gets nowhere as he comes to the near side. Larry Thompson there to stack him up. And let's check out the Los Angeles defense for you. Their starting unit includes Victor Hall. He's a good one. Eric Drake's right there in the middle. 8 years with the Orlando Predators. And Bryce Hayslip and Cliff Green. Ken Hayslip, the very first player ever to sign with Los Angeles.
And he didn't get to play the first 2 ball games. He had a contract dispute with the CFL. He's played the last 2 ball games, and last week against Oklahoma had 4 passes defense. They really need him in their defensive backfield.
Maurice Bryant, the man in motion. They'll go with him for a first down grab out to the 22-yard line. Let's go downstairs. Jill Arrington has a special guest with her. Jill?
I sure do. I'm here with Rodney Rogers. He's the NBA 6th Man of the Year. This is his first time to an arena game. What do you think of this game?
Well, so far so good. I see the guys, they really hitting hard, and it's a lot of excitement. You see a lot of motion, and sometimes, you know, if you play football, you wonder why these guys moving like this, but they get to run across the line of scrimmage before they really hike the ball. And I'm looking for some hard hits up against these rails over here.
That's something you don't get to do, thank goodness. Well, there's all kinds of LA competition in town. I got to ask you, are you going to bring Phoenix home a win tomorrow?
Yeah, most definitely. We need to get one. We had one last night. It slipped through our hands, and we lost by 1 point.
Tough game. Well, enjoy tonight's game. A little time off. Back to you, Eli.
Jill, thanks, Rodney. Appreciate it. Former Wake Forest Demon Deacon. You saw that pass intended for Randy Gatewood, but basically thrown away by Cedric Bonner.
Really good coverage by Cliff Green on that play as well.
If you're not familiar with what Jill was talking about down there, of course, tomorrow night the Suns and the Lakers play here, Game 3 of their NBA playoff series. And last night a Kobe Bryant last-second shot gave the Lakers a 2-0 lead over at the Staples Center, and the series shifts here tomorrow night.
A lot of action in this town with Arizona and LA teams.
Yeah, the Dodgers have been in all week playing the Diamondbacks. The series wrapped up yesterday. Lots of motion at the line of scrimmage, and the flags come flying in against Steve Hannon is our referee.
Looked like Oscar had a hiccup at the line.
And when you're 6 up, man, you've hiccuped.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, defense number 71, 3-yard penalty. It's still 2nd down.
Was Greer.
You know, it's amazing on the front line for Los Angeles. I was talking to Stan Brock today, and he had 2 guys last week that had to play on the offensive side of the ball, Cliff Robinson and Patterson Owens, who had never played on the offensive side of the ball. And Stan said, that's the most fun for me as a coach, is teaching a guy who's never played offense how to pass block.
Again, movement at the line of scrimmage, free play for the Rattlers, and overthrown there. Could not catch it. Cliff Robinson is the guilty party for jumping at the line of scrimmage. The fans figured that there should have been a flag thrown back in the end zone near where the catch could have been made. The official said it wasn't a catchable football.
Defense number 79, 3-yard penalty. It's still 2nd down.
So Cliff Robinson from Boise State guilty of the flag, the 2nd.
No question that that's an uncatchable ball. However, the official might have called the face mask being grabbed. That can be called at any time. But that is 2 balls that Cedric Bonner has overthrown Maurice Bryant. One of 2 things. Cedric's a little excited to be on TNN, or Maurice Bryant is not quite healthy from that hamstring. Maybe a combination of the 2. Hey, he went to the Super Bowl with the Falcons. You don't think he'd get shook by something like this?
No. From the 23 of Los Angeles, big bruising Paul Reynolds runs for the first down to the 16-yard line. It was Dan Juan McGee who makes the stop on Reynolds, who signed as a free agent back in March of this season.
And a lot of people would be surprised to know that Danny White is a rushing coach, even though he's a former quarterback. The last 2 games, 0 rushing yards 2 weeks ago. Last week, an AFL record, -17 yards against Nashville. Now that, you have to figure in the 4 fumbled snaps. Those count as negative rushing yards. But Danny White does like to run the ball. They're averaging under 10 yards per rush so far this season. They need to bring that stat up.
9.8 to be exact. On a 1st and 10. Bonner, Gatewood, touchdown. 16 yards to number 17. Bonner to Gatewood. It's 7-6 Los Angeles.
You know, Randy Gatewood is kind of the forgotten guy in Arizona. First team All-AFL back in '98, 2nd team in '99. One of their big-time receivers, Calvin Scheck-Snyder, who is now in camp with the San Diego Chargers. Just a little stutter step slant route. One-on-one Anthony Rice doesn't really have a chance. No inside help from the safety in the Arena Football League. But Gatewood has really had a very productive career here in Arizona.
Bjorn Nitmo, who is 22 of 26 on extra points, trying to boot this one through out of the hold of Cedric Bonner. And we are knotted at 7. As per usual, these first quarters just flying right by. Some interesting stories developing. And the 13,000 on hand are enjoying it. Yep, there he is, the famous Harvey Wallbanger. Now, is Harvey the guy with the 2 legs or the 4?
I'm going with the 4.
That's just part of the wild, wild west and this incredible home field advantage they have here at the America West Arena. Glad you're tuned in. Tied at 7. Bjorn Nitmo boots it away, then off the hands of the Avengers. It is picked up, and Jackson will go out and a touchback.
Now, you might wonder why he tried to run that out. You're not allowed to down the ball on any type of kickoff in the Arena Football League. You have to bring it out.
Hey, you think things get rough here, and we just saw Buffalo loose. We'll have other bovinal behavior for you coming up this weekend, Sunday night. That's when you'll see a ton of fury unleashed. The rider experiencing the longest 8 seconds in sports. Don't miss championship bull riding from right here in Phoenix. Sunday night at 9 Eastern and Pacific, all right here on TNN.
Their walls are just a little higher in the championship bull riding series than in Arena Football.
Todd Marinovich on the out pad and off the hands of Anthony Rice with, again, Cecil Doggett there to break it up for the 4th time tonight.
Now, I'm just going to prep everybody. Cecil Doggett, one of the finest cover men in Arena Football. Great break on the ball, read the route. They were trying to run a little rub route out there. Now, I'm just warning everybody, he will give up a big play before tonight's over. He's extremely aggressive. The Arizona coaches allow him to be that aggressive, knowing that every now and then in all of this one-on-one coverage, Cecil's going to give up 6. But you'll take those type of plays to give up a touchdown every now and again.
Marinovich 0 for his last 4. Now he's 0 for his last 5 as Jai Hill gets in between Marinovich and the intended receiver.
Jai Hill playing the jack linebacker, has to stay within the 5-yard by guard-to-guard box. But the way you play defense as the linebacker, there's Jai right in the middle of your screen. Read the eyes of the quarterback, shuffle your feet, keep your hands up. That was textbook by Jai.
Jason Fletcher now checking in for the LA Avengers. And again, there's the stat we just showed you, the 0 for 5 in his last 5 throws. Fletcher is in motion. On the 3rd and 10. How about it? All of a sudden, Cecil Doggett is just being all world as the #1 tackler coming in, and he has now broken up another pass. But the pressure is a factor,
yeah,
too.
We have to give a little credit. Cecil's doing a great job, but that time Oscar Sturgis just bowls over the guard and makes Marinovich throw off his back foot. When I talked to Terry Card earlier in the game, he said this guy throws off his front foot. That time didn't get a chance to.
Well, the quarter is done, and a chance for the Avengers and Todd Marinovich to regroup just a bit. 7-7 the score. Marinovich to Chris Jackson. Bonner to Randy Gatewood. Those have been the scoring plays. What's a game at the Rattlers home field without a real live Rattler? We've got one here. Hope you're enjoying the 7-7 ball game. Todd Marinovich, first time he touches the ball to Chris Jackson, 6 yards. But then Cedric Bonner goes 16 to Randy Gatewood, and we're all tied at 7. Eli Gold, Ed Cunningham, Sam White, Jill Arrington, and Kyle Pooler.
You know, you have to start feeling for a kicker who plays on an offense that is trying to find an identity. He kicks a lot out of his end zone.
Oh, and he's just going to do with a little chip shot kick. It is fielded by the awaiting Maurice Bryant, then run out at the 20-yard line, helped there by Larry Thompson.
I don't like that play. No. Arizona was in a return mode. They were not rushing. Maurice Bryant was part of the return setup, and you get the ball out to the 20. If he gets that off the net, it's tough to bring the ball all the way back out to the 20.
Cedric Bonner has a microphone.
12, wide takeoff.
Well, here you go. They're going to take a little shot. Got the wide takeoff route.
So, right, X loop, rocket, 12, wide takeoff on 1-on-1. Ready, stay up now.
Gonna go for the big play right here to try and jump on the expansion team. Maurice Bryant in motion, bottom of your screen. Off the second pump, they'll go to the short man. And Hunky Cooper, the safety valve, has the football at the 21. It was a 1-yard pickup. Brett Clark was the man rushing the quarterback.
And it was great coverage by Hayslip on Randy Gatewood, who was the wide takeoff. That's why Bonner had to come back to Cooper. And, you know, Cooper, a guy not with great speed. You talked about he was a punt returner and All-American in college. He was also an option quarterback in junior college. Really a good underneath receiver, and the way he has made his living in the Arena Football League is as a kick returner, but as the underneath receiver, making people miss. Extremely strong in his lower body.
Wing loop, laser 10 on 1-on-1. Ready?
Drop down a couple of. Try to get the yardage down a little bit for the third down.
Cooper's in motion. Hunky's got it, tries to break a tackle, picks up 8 on the play, out to the 21 of Los Angeles.
You know, when we talked to Danny White this week, it was interesting when he was talking about Cedric Bonner, and we asked about his time he spent in the NFL, and he had an interesting point. He said, I think it actually hurt him, because when you go to the outdoor game, and Danny knows a lot about the outdoor game, was with the Dallas Cowboys, took him to the playoffs 5 times, had to follow some guy named Staubach, I think was the guy's name.
Yeah, some guy named Staubach.
But he said it's actually easier to go from the AFL to the NFL than the other way around because of the difference in the game.
Bonner looks, Hunky's open, can he hang on to the football? Hunky Cooper with Anthony Rice there on the cover. What a play.
And here is where the youth of the defensive backfield for the LA Avengers takes in. Hunky just snuck right in there with the linebackers, and nobody picked him up.
Look at them bobbling the football and hanging on to it.
Anthony Rice was the man responsible for covering Hunky. He went to give help because Hunky got lost in the wash. Anthony Rice is a rookie, second-year player at Utah State, but these guys have not played together a lot, so the communication is still a problem for the Avengers in the defensive backfield.
Bob McMillan is the fullback. Motion from Bryant. Here's McMillan fighting in for the touchdown. Bob McMillan, the #2 all-time man in carries for the Arizona Wranglers out of Illinois Benedictine, picks up his second rushing touchdown of the year.
This is just a weak side dive play. They do not block Dan Juan McGee, the MAC linebacker, but they expect their fullback to be able to beat him for just a yard or two. When you get inside there, you are outnumbered severely, 3 blockers to 5 defenders, so your running back has to win that battle.
Now Bjorn Nitmo to try the extra point. And it gives the Rattlers the 14-7 lead. This game going according to form. In the first quarters thus far, the Rattlers have been outscored. In the second quarter, they've outscored the opponents.
This is Grant Hill, 6'8", 225 every inch an NBA All-Star. And this is a Nestle Crunch Bar, which could be your ticket to meet Grant Hill for a little one-on-one. Just look inside specially marked Nestle Crunch Bars and you could win instantly. That's right, you could spend some quality hang time with Grant Hill or win some hot NBA merchandise. Grab a Nestle Crunch Bar today, and instead of watching Grant Hill, you could be playing Grant Hill in a little one-on-one.
What are you thinking, Arnie?
Vigoro.
Arnold Palmer's Bay Hill Club uses the high-performance technology of Ultra Vigoro lawn fertilizer. It greens in 72 hours and lasts up to 3 months. If it's good enough for Arnie's lawn, just imagine what it will do for yours. Buy it at the Home Depot.
You guys want to see a movie? Road trip. It's got swearing in it. It's got nudity in it. Touch my chest. I mean, I like that stuff, you know. Don't touch her. It's a good idea. I like him.
This summer, they're already on the road.
What was that? Did you kill a cheetah?
But you've got to wait till May 19th.
Wait a minute. Sneak preview tomorrow night.
Awesome.
Road trip, rated R.
We're all gonna see it sooner or later.
At the sneak preview tomorrow night.
Mark, they're professionals. They will take care of her.
I know, but she's my baby.
What if they can't help her?
Mr. Stevenson, we've got that new starter in your car. She's ready.
Auto Value. We've got what you need.
It didn't have to end like this. Armor All Protectant. Armor All Car Wax. It's not just shine, it's Armor All.
There you see Coach Stan Brock of the Los Angeles Avengers building an expansion team at the Staples Center. He and I talked yesterday. I asked him, hey, what do you find enticing about that job?
Exciting thing about it is you bring a bunch of guys who've never played football together before. They've all played football somewhere in their life, but never together. Some of them have never seen an arena football field, and then try and teach them all and learn it, and then get them to play together, because I really firmly believe that no matter the talent that you have on a football team, if they don't play together, you won't win football games.
We already saw evidence of that tonight in his defensive backfield. That was his main area of concern the last couple of ball games. Last week against Oklahoma, he flat said, we had to play some coverages that these guys didn't know, and I knew they didn't know it, but at some point they had to learn how to play press coverage. So you have to give a little bit to get a little bit.
Chris Jackson off the net, off the hands. Here he comes to the 10-yard line in the grasp of the Arizona defense. And Todd Marinovich, he is 4 of 11, 45 yards passing in the first 16 minutes of this football game.
And at this stage of the game, Stan Brock and his staff should be fairly not very productive for Los Angeles offensively. But Scott Semptimphelter, who started the season, Stan Brock said, you know, he did everything we asked. I just need a little change of pace. And at this stage of the game, to be down 7, we should be happy to maybe get something going offensively.
Very safe route there to Anthony Rice, who will make the grab for a pickup of 6. Cedric Walker in on the stop. He is the number 2 tackler. The story for Los Angeles this year, they opened up at Grand Rapids, lost by 20. They played home games against expansion Carolina, losing by 8. They played a home game against Oklahoma's Wranglers and lost 59-33, and then lost at the Myriad in Oklahoma City last week, 65-44. Anthony Rice, the motion man. Going long for Rice with a step on the defender, but he can't come up with it. Cecil Doggett was the man watching.
And, you know, when you've got a new quarterback, your guys have to help him out. Anthony Rice quit on that route. He was open. He slowed his route down, and Todd Marinovich put that ball right where it should have been. Anthony, you've got to run through the ball when you got a guy trying to get some confidence in a brand new game for him.
When he was with the Philadelphia Eagles, Rice was changed from a running back to a defensive back. Now Anthony obviously at wide receiver and DB. LA is 0 of 2 in third down conversions. That one is good with a flag on the play. Larry Thompson will make the grab and had enough distance, but then they'll say no. He bobbled the football as he was coming down, and it'll be ruled incomplete.
I believe they have Brett Clark, a rookie out of Southern, for holding down around the line of scrimmage.
Holding, offense number 52. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
He used the old offensive lineman trick. When you're getting run over, take the guy with you. Yeah. The only problem is the officials were watching. You know, you mentioned the 2 losses in a row to the Oklahoma Wranglers. Yeah. Well, Stan should be mad at himself for that, because that was the Portland Forest Dragons who moved to Oklahoma, a team that Stan came out of the announcing booth to start coaching back in '97. And here's another one of those long attempts for our friend Kyle.
It'll be a 51-yarder for Kyle Pooler, and it is blocked. It is blocked. It is recovered by Semptimphelter off the block by Stacey Evans. What a big-time play by Stacey Evans in quickly on the kicker, Kyle Pooler.
And Stacey Evans is going to get credit for the block, but it was Bob McMillan, the outside rusher, who got great push. Watch right in this part of your screen. Great push to free Stacey Evans to come to the inside. Bob McMillan, an excellent job. He's not allowed to rush to the outside. Great push. That's a mismatch. He's going up against Anthony Rice, who's all of 185 pounds. Bob checks in at nearly 260. A good aggressive rush, and Stacey Evans picks up the block.
Now a chance to take a bigger lead as Rattlers are already up, as you see, 14-7. And timeout is being signaled. So there's timeout on the field with exactly 9 minutes remaining in the opening half. The Rattlers are up, and they're threatening to pad their lead.
Explosive tank action is back in Battle Tanks Global Assault. Rated T.
Of a block by Stacey Evans on a field goal. Watch the outside man, Anthony Rice. Bob McMillan is not allowed to rush to the outside. Good coaching tells that defensive end to rush through the helmet of Anthony Rice. It's a mismatch in weight. Bob McMillan buries him. Stacey Evans comes over the top of the block. That's textbook on how to rush a kick in the Arena Football League.
So with 9 minutes now remaining in the opening half, the Rattlers have a chance to pad their lead.
Bob McMillan, a guy who was built for this league. He played offensive line, tight end, defensive end, and linebacker at Illinois Benedictine College.
The motion man is Maurice Bryant. Hard run for McMillan with Dan Juan McGee, and they get to the 1-yard line. Nothing fancy, just some power football with McGee and Ken Hayslip combining on the stop.
And a lot of people at home might be wondering why you see a lot of teams run inside the 10-yard line in Arena Football. They're actually going to put him out at about the 2.5-yard line. But the reason is those linebackers who are no factor in the middle of the field in pass coverage, now you're working with the short, compact field. They start to become a part of the pass defense. It gets very crowded. The end zone's only 8 yards deep. McGee in there along with Larry Thompson. They become part of the coverage, so you start to run the ball a little more.
McMillan had a 1-yard touchdown plunge earlier. This time they're going to throw. They do not get in. There's a flag on the play. Jai Hill made the grab, but Corey Johnson right there making a great stop and taking him laterally at the 1-yard line, denying the end zone. But again, there's a flag down.
Maybe Cliff Green with a hold. Cliff Green had one-on-one coverage all the way across the field with Maurice Bryant, and he got caught up with him in the middle of the field.
Holding, defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
Formerly an All-Ohio Valley Conference cornerback when he played at Tennessee State.
Also the first overall pick in this year's expansion draft. Played last year sparingly with San Jose, but put up some decent interception numbers in only a handful of ball games. So Stanbrock made him the first pick. He just was getting beat a little bit and had to grab hold.
Let's go.
Now McMillan is still there as the fullback. Bryant goes wide along with Muhammad Oliver. McMillan on play action. They'll throw, and it's knocked away neatly. Great defense by Larry Thompson, knocking it away from Stacey Evans, who would have had his second touchdown reception of the year.
And what a great job of recognition by Larry Thompson. Thompson is lined up as the backside linebacker, and he has coverage. He's not allowed to leave the box, the 5-yard deep guard-to-guard box, unless the tight end or fullback goes into a route. That was excellent recognition. Remember, there was a play fake on that. They were hoping that the Jack linebacker Thompson would suck up. He did not and was able to knock it away.
9 years in the Canadian Football League. Now here's the give again on a power run. Do they get in? No. No. As Corey Johnson, Dan Juan McGee, everybody just stacks up the middle against the Arizona Rattlers. And now we're looking at a 3rd and goal from a half-yard away.
Now is where the quarterback sneak becomes the favorite play of most guys. We'll take a listen when Cedric comes in with the play, but Sometimes you'll bring that fullback in to get a little extra push in the middle.
Let's go left. X loop hits 37 man on one-on-one. Ready?
And they're going to run a little toss sweep to the left.
Ken McMillan is the fullback. The motion man, Maurice Bryant. There's the toss, there's the sweep, there's the touchdown. Touchdown, Arizona. The Rattlers lead 20-7. Bob McMillan, second of the night.
Bob, more nimble than you would think for a 250-pound man, but I think, Eli, you and I might have been able to tiptoe through the tulips for those 6.
Hey, I'm remarkably nimble. Don't down me before
you know when you're at your best as a nimble person?
When is that? Going side to side at the buffet table?
No, when the check comes for dinner. You have fleet feet.
Bjorn Nitmo to add the 21st points. Got it with 5:37 remaining in the half. The Rattlers, probably as expected at home, with a commanding lead over the expansion Los Angeles Avengers. Mike Moore, glad to see he's gotten out of the truck for a few moments. And down with Jill Arrington as a gentleman who's probably the youngest owner in all of pro sports, Casey Wasserman. Jill?
You got that right. I'm here with Casey Wasserman, the 25-year-old owner of the Los Angeles Avengers. But he comes from a family who knows what they're doing. Universal Studios, the Wassermans. What piqued your interest in the Arena League?
I really had no idea what to expect when I saw my first game, but I actually came here to Arizona, and I was totally enamored and excited from the first second, and I think all the fans here are seeing why.
Well, you're doing a great job in LA promoting the team. You've got some fancy billboards that have caught a lot of attention. Yeah. How are the people in LA accepting the Avenger team?
We've had great attendance, much more than I anticipated for a first year with a crowded sports season in LA. And now, as soon as we start to win on the field, I think people really get excited about what we're doing.
Well, maybe it'll happen tonight. Good luck. Back to you, Eli.
Jill, thank you. As that kick sails out of bounds, and it'll be a touchback. So they'll be going to work 1st and 10 from their own. Live, of course, in LA, as is Jill and the Avengers.
When he was looking into Arizona and studied this franchise, got a lot of advice from them, and he has really done a fantastic job. This league prosper, cares about the league, and knows together. But he's done a fantastic job, him and his staff.
Their market community as well, Los Avengadores. Call them in by their Spanish. Completion out to the 13-yard line across the way, and Chris Jackson came up with the grab. If you're just joining us, we welcome you to the America West Arena here in downtown Phoenix. Eli Gold. Sam Waits is with us. He'll be checking in a bit later on. On the field, it is a 21-7 Arizona lead, week number 5 of the Arena Football League on TNN Sports. Todd Marinovich, former LA Raider, quarterbacking the Avengers. There should have been a flag on the play. There was none. And how about that big-time play? Oscar Sturgis, Kelvin Ingram, nobody was fooled. Derek Shepard in on the play, big-time D.
Oscar Sturgis on the outside going one-on-one there with 79 Cliff Robertson. Wins that battle. So does Derek Shepard. And those are the things as a quarterback. You need just a little bit of a running game. This is not a running league, but some kind of running game would really help this left-hander out.
Looking at a 3rd and 6 now. LA is 0 of 3 in 3rd down conversions. They are 13 of 33 on the year, down under 40%. The left-hander throws, and a grab to Chris Jackson will pick up a pivotal 1st down in front of Cecil Doggett. And there is they've completed on Cecil.
And there is the timing of Todd Marinovich, the maturation process. I mean, here's a guy. 92 was his last start, so he's been around football a couple years in the CFL, but he has to mature into this game. It's so different than what he's used to. At that time, fired the ball on time before Chris Jackson came out of his break, and that's why it was a successful pass.
9-3-3 on 1st down.
Going on the 1st sound as John Clark checks in at the fullback spot behind Marinovich. Clark with a good block as Marinovich throws that one away. He was looking to Chris Jackson, who was closest, and then you see Chris saying, hey, Cecil gave me a shove.
That's not all Cecil gave him down there, I can imagine.
You, of course, broadcast these Rattlers games for years, so you've been able to follow one of the best cover men in the Arena Football League.
Well, and when he makes a big play, he will treat us to what he calls the dog walk.
Really?
I'm not going to spoil the fun. We'll see it when he makes a big play.
Coming into the season, he had broken up 45 passes in 5 years. 2nd and 10. Marinovich looking. Chris Jackson, and there you talked about someone's going to beat Cecil before the night's over. He did it for 29 yards.
And if you're calling plays against Cecil Doggett, you try to get him to come up and bite. And they tried to get him to bite on the route by Jackson. He ends up running the post to the outside, and Cecil got spun around. He was expecting the corner and got the post. And that's just get back there trying to play defensive back. That's tough.
Whole lot more animated. Marinovich is there. Points. And good. Here's draw to within a in the first half. Phoenix.
Victory! Our boys came through in the end and returned home heroes.
So, again, would you?
Only if I could bring those bazookas with me.
Introducing Army Men World War. The boys are going back to war, and this time you're calling the shots. Available for your PC and PlayStation game console. Rated everyone through teen. Army Men World War.
Good to go.
I want to leave this small town. Go someplace where there's more people than cows. I want to see the world. Be part of a team. I want to go where people will listen to what I've got to say. Have people depend on me, not the other way around. Have a place of my own. Get an education. Help someone in trouble. Earn people's respect.
You have plans. Let the Air Force help you get them off the ground.
I want to hang out with people as cool as me.
Places I started singing in down here in South Texas got the ladies in by dropping the cover charge. Well, Tractor Supply Company's done that one better. They put in things women shop for every day. Jeans, clothing, horse and pet supplies, seed, garden tools, riding tractors, and a lot more. So ladies, don't be bashful about that word tractor, because there's a lot in those Tractor Supply Company stores for you too. Oh, and no cover charge either.
Shoulder pads, knee pads. Now there's a new pad to keep you in the game. Boom! Tough Actin Tinactin Sports Wipes. Get to those hard-to-reach places with the only leading brand that's so tough it prevents athlete's foot. Wipe out athlete's foot. New Tinactin Sports Wipes.
Don't dial zero. You can save big bucks with 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls. It's the same low rate every minute, everywhere. Come on, dial down the center. 1-800-CALLATT.
That was close.
I'm going no good.
21-14, the Rattlers over the Avengers here at the America West Arena. Don't forget, coming up next weekend, it's TNN's winner-take-all weekend. You'll see NASCAR's premier all-star event, the Winston. It's Winston Cup's most unique race, the Winston. Saturday night, May 20th at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. It is a part of TNN's winner-take-all weekend. And I'll tell you, it's been a game of two distinct performances for Todd Marinovich here this evening. When he's hot, he's hot. When he's not, Lordy, he's not. There's Hunky Cooper to field the kick. Hard running to the 13-yard line.
You were talking about Todd Marinovich. He had missed on 6 attempts in a row. Comes out on that drive. He's 3 of 4 for 49 yards, 100 yards on the game. That play, 5 plays, 45 yards. 3 minutes, 46 seconds. It looked like it was easy that time for Marinovich and his mates.
His mate being Chris Jackson in particular, who has 6 receptions, 82 yards, and a couple of TDs.
And you noticed on that drive, they had been throwing underneath routes to Chris Jackson, and Cecil Doggett had been eating them up. That time, they start going to the longer go, post, and corner routes to some success. Expect LA to come back to those in their next possession.
Hunky Cooper, he's in motion. Been kind of quiet tonight. They go on the outside route. Gatewood breaks away. 46-yard touchdown reception.
You cannot miss tackles in the Arena Football League. There is no deep help. That time Hayslett came up and Randy Gatewood did a really nice job of shaking him off of his hip, but you just don't have help down the field, and when you miss a tackle, it's going to go the distance.
We're now at the 1-minute warning here in the Arena Football League. The official on the field informing Los Angeles that they have 2 timeouts remaining. The Rattlers have all 3. And as we have told you each and every week, at the end of the 2nd and 4th quarters, inside the final minute, the clock will now begin to stop at places where you're used to seeing the clock stop in the stadium played game. Bjorn Nitmo with 1 more, and the Rattlers are up 28-14. Big time grab for Randy Gatewood. Hey folks, don't leave us at halftime, because the Degree halftime report hosted by Jill will be coming up at the break. We'll look ahead to this weekend's game. We'll look back at last weekend's action. An interesting look at Cedric Bonner. All of that coming up on the Degree halftime report.
Yeah, Jill didn't get to host a pregame show because of the late start on the East Coast, so, you know, we've got to put her to work somehow, right?
Yeah. She's had a nice day. Hi, Jill. Nice to see you down there.
I'm glad her mic is closed right now.
What does this do to a team like Los Angeles? They scrap, they scratch, they claw, they get back in with a touchdown, and then one play, 51 seconds, they're down by 14 again.
Well, that's one of the things. You know, Stan brought in a lot of veteran players. He has 15 of his 24 on this Los Angeles team that have experience in the AFL. So it's up to those guys to tell the rookies, hey, look, that's just the breaks. That's going to happen in this game. So you have to shake it off, bring Marinovich and your offense back out, and do the same things you did on the last drive and try to get it back to 7.
See where Oklahoma picked up quarterback Jeff Lutz from Carolina the other day. Interesting move for a team playing as well as Oklahoma is. As the kick sails out of bounds, the Wranglers getting Lutz in exchange for the rights to Josh Wilcox, who's now with the New Orleans Saints, and Kelly Herndon playing over with the NFL Europe in Barcelona. But interesting move for Oklahoma.
Yeah, I've seen Oklahoma play a couple of times this year. I saw them live a couple of Monday nights ago in Los Angeles when they beat LA. And boy, Ron Lopez, another one of those big rangy quarterbacks. You seem to find a lot of those in arena football. But he is really putting together a nice season in Oklahoma.
Also, in case you've not heard, May the 25th, Iowa's going to be retiring Kurt Warner's number 13 jersey. We're going to be there for that game. We'll bring you all that halftime pageantry from the barn as they retire Kurt's number 13. Here's Todd Marinovich to throw. Complete to his favorite target, Chris Jackson. Out to the 24-yard line before Hunky Cooper comes up to make the stop.
And boy, Marinovich just doesn't look like the same quarterback we saw about a quarter ago.
Yeah.
He's throwing the ball with confidence. That time he has to scramble out of the pocket. Chris Jackson was open early, couldn't see him, gets the ball off. Earlier in the game, he was fluttering some passes. That is a very tight spiral, but look at the hustle by Hunky Cooper. A guy that 3 or 4 years ago was nothing but an offensive specialist. They said he had to play linebacker, and he said, I'll do whatever you need, coach. He's turned into the best two-way player in arena football.
On the crossing pattern, there's a strike to Corey Johnson, who breaks a tackle and does the tightrope down to the 2. The former Georgia Bulldog pushed out of bounds by Hunky Cooper on a touchdown-saving play.
What comes around goes around. Randy Gatewood was the beneficiary of a missed tackle. Now it's time for Randy to miss a tackle and allow for a near touchdown. And again, there is our guy, Hunky Cooper, coming all the way from that little tiny box as a linebacker he's got to stay in, saving a touchdown.
Corey Johnson, who was to have been the defensive specialist, but now is both the wide receiver and the defensive back for Los Angeles. Dan Juan McGee is the fullback. Marinovich off the hands of Corey Johnson, incomplete, as he had Gatewood tying him up in a package at the goal line.
That ball thrown with just a little too much zip by Marinovich. He had Johnson open early, probably his second read, so he didn't quite get to him, as Gatewood had to fight through, and Johnson just not ready for that ball to come in with that much heat.
10 of 21. Those are the numbers for Marinovich. 142 yards.
And when you talked to Stan Brock earlier today, he said, this is my guy tonight. He is not coming out unless we have to carry him off.
From the 3, intercepted. Hunky Cooper. He stops a big-time Avenger drive with an interception in the end zone. It'll be his first pick of the year.
Hunky Cooper last year had 3 interceptions. Oh, very close there. They might have been able to call Hunky for being outside of the guard to tight end box. But Hunky had 3 interceptions last year. All of them went for touchdowns. His second interception of this year, one of the best at the jack linebacker. And Stan Brock is upset because I do think that Hunky could have been called for being outside of that linebacker box.
But the play stands. And now there are, as you see, 19 seconds and 3 timeouts with which to work for Arizona before halftime. Cedric Bonner high, but it's caught by Gatewood for a first down at the 24-yard line. Cliff Green, the defensive specialist, there on the stop. Now remember, the clock does stop here in the final minute while they move the chains.
And you have to feel for Stan. I mean, he's fighting for everything he has. He said the one positive when we talked to him earlier this week was there's been no infighting. My guys have stayed together through all of this. But here LA was down there threatening to score, and it was, you know, a call that could have gone their way. Hunky out of the box possibly. It was tough to tell from angle, but it did look like he got outside the guard, and you just have to feel for Coach Brock right now.
Timeout taken, as you see, by Arizona. And, of course, on top of everything else for Stan Brock, we had touched on it earlier, he's without Andy Chilcote, who not only is a fine fullback and linebacker, but he is really a leader on this football team, and you can't afford to be without those guys.
No, and another guy, Victor Hall, that we touched on earlier, a veteran out of Orlando. He said, these guys have really been my in-locker-room leaders.
Hey, reminder, folks, you can log on to AFL on TNN.com and email us some questions on Arena Football. Each week we'll be picking some of your questions to answer during the game. And you can also get all the latest news about the Arena Football League at AFL on TNN.com. From his own 24, Cedric Bonner. Going deep, overthrows the intended receiver, Maurice Bryant.
And that is the 3rd throw to Maurice Bryant, who was open, that Cedric Bonner has let fly. Wondering if he's having a hard time holding on to this ball, but that is not like Cedric Bonner. One of the most accurate passers in the history of the Arena Football League is not on top of his game so far tonight.
One of the most remarkable stats, although quarterback pressures are more prevalent than sacks in this league. But did you see where Cedric's only been sacked once in his last 1,050 passing attempts? Remarkable. Bryant in motion, and so are half the Avenger defensive linemen. So Steve Pammon will make the call on what we expect will be the 4th flag against.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, defense number 55, 3-yard penalty, it's still 2nd down.
Ron Lewis from Washington State, guilty of the jump. But now it's a 2nd and 7 from LA's 22.
Excellent, don't get so wide. Let's go 50 hook, X corner, on one-on-one, ready, fight.
Man, he reads him a book there.
No, that was more of a novella. If the corner route is open, you can look for number 19, Maurice Bryant.
Maurice is going. Maurice draws cover, and the throw is short on a one-hop at the 4-yard line. Cliff Green was there on the cover. And the throw, not a good one.
Yeah, there was a little bit of pressure on the arm of Bonner as he was trying to get rid of it. He had Maurice open with the corner route, but Bonner just got kind of hit up underneath the arm, and that ball fluttered, never quite made it to its target. And now you have an interesting situation. You're at the 22-yard line, 4 seconds. It looks like Danny wants to go for it all instead of a field goal.
Nope, they're going to change. Here comes Bjorn Nitmo at the last second. So Bjorn will try it. He had a 26-yarder against both New Jersey and San Jose. That one is no good. Ball is live off the net. And that is going to do it for the first half as Corey Johnson is put down off the miss by Nitmo.
I've been doing this game a lot of years. That's the first time I've seen a double net hit.
Yeah, you don't see
off the net, on the ground, back to the net.
Nothing but net. It is halftime here at the America West Arena. When we come back, more of what makes the Arena Football League on TNN special. That's Jill Harrington with the Degree halftime report.
They're not coming out. We're going in to get them. They're always hot. You're always sweating. It's a cat and mouse game.
We have some of the hottest detectives on the street to switch antiperspirant.
Degree Ultra Dry.
Body heat activated.
Does this work?
When your body heat rises, Degree's powerful Ultra Dry form releases extra protection when you need it most.
When the pressure is on, the heat is on, Degree kept up with me. It kept me dry. Degree kicks butt.
Degree Ultra Dry.
That stuff kicks in and takes care of business.
Your body heat turns it on.
Book 'em.
This is Grant Hill, 6'8", 225 every inch in NBA All-Star. And this is a Nestle Crunch Bar, which could be your ticket to meet Grant Hill for a little one-on-one. Just look inside specially marked Nestle Crunch Bars and you could win instantly. That's right, you could spend some quality hang time with Grant Hill or win some hot NBA merchandise. Grab a Nestle Crunch Bar today, and instead of watching Grant Hill, you could be playing Grant Hill in a little one-on-one.
Man, I'm hungry.
What, $1 for a sliver of raw fish?
It's sushi. Sushi? Where I'm from, we call that stuff bait.
What else can you get for just $1?
Well, I can get a 20-minute phone call for only 99 cents.
Quit kidding around.
No, it's true. Dial 10-10-220. It's just 99 cents for all calls up to 20 minutes.
And just 7 cents a minute after that.
And get this, there's no monthly fee.
10-10-220 really is a great deal.
We know. Hey, you forgot to cook this.
Dial 10-10-220.
Is your asthma really under control?
Yeah. But sometimes I wheeze.
Ever wake up short of breath?
I do.
Use your fast-acting inhaler more than twice a week.
I use mine every day.
If that's what you call control, ask your doctor if prescription Flovent is right for you. Flovent twice a day helps control the inflammation that can cause asthma symptoms in the first place and helps improve lung function. Flovent won't replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden attacks. People switching from an oral steroid like prednisone to Flovent, an inhaled steroid, need to be especially careful. While adjusting to the switch, your body is not as able to heal after surgery, infection, or serious injury. See your doctor if your asthma does not improve.
Now this is control.
Call 1-800-426-7929 today for a $5 rebate and a free asthma workbook so you and your doctor can determine if your asthma is really under control. That's 1-800-426-7929. Flovent, helping you define asthma control.
Welcome to the Degree Halftime Report. We're in Phoenix, Arizona, where the score at halftime is Arizona Rattlers 28, Los Angeles Avengers 14. Well, we talked about some of the struggles the Rattlers had in their loss to Nashville last week, but they weren't the only undefeated team to go down. The defending champion Albany Firebirds had their first loss, and Grand Rapids lost in an overtime thriller to Milwaukee. Well, for those stories and more news from around the league from last week, let's send it to Eli Gold to take us inside Arena Football.
Last Friday in Oklahoma, the Wranglers made it a clean sweep over L.A., beating them for the second consecutive week behind quarterback Ron Lopez. He threw for 192 yards and 5 touchdowns. Wranglers roll 65-44. Also on Friday, the Orlando Predators continued their winning ways, holding off Florida 51-38. Cannell Maynor leading the charge with another brilliant performance, passing for 212 yards and 5 TDs. After week 4, there are now 7 teams in the Arena Football League with better than 500 records. Oklahoma and Orlando remain as the only unbeatens. For this week's Indoor Warriors, we take a look at a couple of number 7s. Damian Harrell of New England was named AFL Player of the Week, while Darrell Hammond of Nashville was named Tenacton Ironman of the Week. Hammond recorded 7 tackles, scored 3 touchdowns as the Cats handed the Rattlers their first loss. Harrell caught 9 balls for 151 yards and 5 TDs as New England knocked off the defending champs.
Join us us next week in Tampa for one of the more interesting matchups of the season when former Tampa Bay superstar George LaFrance and his new team, the New Jersey Red Dogs, challenge the Storm. Tampa Bay's offense is now led by Charles Wilson, who's looking to show why he's the man for the Storm. It's New Jersey at Tampa Bay next Thursday at 8 p.m. on TNN. Want to find out more about the game? Log on to AFLontnn.com. This Rattler quarterback has rewritten Arizona's passing record book, and he continues to move up the arena charts as well. When we return to the Degree Halftime Report, we'll take a closer look at Cedric Bonner. Arizona leads by 14 at halftime. The Degree Halftime Report continues in a moment.
This is one smart Kenmore dishwasher door. She's gonna really love it.
Me?
Yes, because if the dishes are really dirty, it washes them longer. It's a perfect Mother's Day gift.
For you, Sam.
Yeah, well, no more dishpan hands. What do you say, my darling?
Happy Mother's Day, honey.
Sears has a gift for every mom and 0% financing on all Kenmore Ultra Wash dishwashers until May 2001, including this one, just $399.88.
You owe me, Sam.
Father's Day is just around the corner, baby.
Well, hey, Mr. Palmer, how can I help you?
Hi, Bill. Time to rotate those tires. Cooper Tires. Drive on.
Alonzo, is it true EAS nutritional supplements are your secret weapon?
Can we talk about this later?
So, EAS is your supplement of choice.
I said later.
I suppose you've never seen this Myoplex before. Myoplex is high in protein and helps energize performance. You think it helps you get to the playoff?
Let's just say EAS gives me the edge.
Get the edge. Look for special offers on EAS products at Vitamin Shop, GNC, Vitamin World, and other fine health food stores.
30 minutes left to play in this one. The score at the half, 28-14. Well, earlier this year, Arizona quarterback Cedric Bonner was asked by the San Diego Chargers to spend his summer in NFL Europe as part of a free agent agreement. But Cedric opted to return here to the Arizona Rattlers. It seems this 1994 Arena Bowl MVP realizes just how good he has it right here in the Snake Pit. After 5 seasons with the Rattlers, Cedric Bonner decided to realize a dream and move back to the NFL. But after a brief stint with the Atlanta Falcons, Bonner realized that the grass wasn't always greener on the other side.
It's been an unbelievable ride, and it was a lot of fun to be able to get to the Super Bowl and realize a dream that way. But not to be able to get on the field kind of hurt a little bit.
He's giving it his shot. He knows where he stands, and he knows that maybe arena football is meant for him. I see this league doing some incredible things in the next 4 or 5 years, and I see Cedric Bonner being a big part of that. And for Bonner, coming back to the AFL was almost like returning home.
This has always been a family to me, and the people, in the organization with America West Arena have always just been outstanding to me, and I cherish that, and it's something that I've never looked past, and I'm just excited to be able to come home. And it feels like I'm home.
He's a tremendous guy around here. I mean, he knows how to get it done. He knows how to read defenses. He knows the game. I just would like to see Ced, just come back and worry about playing arena football right now.
And since his return, that's exactly what he's done. With 24 touchdowns in just 4 games, Bonner seems poised to lead his team toward the Arena Bowl.
It's been an interesting scenario, but back home where I wanted to be, and I think we're going to grow together. We've got some very talented young players, and the more we come together and the longer we work together, I think every week you'll see us get better and better. So it'll be a great season for us.
And with the Rattlers off to a 3-1 start, Bonner thinks his team is just getting started.
And as soon as we hit our stride, I think it's going to be trouble for everybody. So we just gotta get through the tough spots if we have them, and keep playing hard and keep practicing hard. And I think as soon as that happens, we're going to find ourselves back where we belong on the upper echelon.
Well, Cedric's off to a great start tonight. He has 115 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. When we come back to the Degree halftime report, Eli and Ed will recap the first half with highlights and stats. So stick around.
Race fans, catch the excitement of NASCAR on TNN. Enter TNN's Red Wing Shoes Work Hard, Win Big sweepstakes. You could win fabulous prizes. A trip to see a live NASCAR Winston Cup race, this Dodge Ram truck, or a Polaris ATV. Here's what you have to do. Watch the Winston live Saturday, May 20th on TNN. Identify the position of car number 43, John Andretti, at the end of the first 30-lap segment. Then go to a Red Wing Shoe store for your official entry form. Or send the answer on a postcard with your name and address to TNN's Red Wing Shoes Work Hard, Win Big sweepstakes. TNN Station, Box 3582, Southbury, Connecticut 06488. Or enter online at country.com. First prize, a trip for 2 to the MBNA Platinum 400 at Dover. Second prize, a rugged Polaris ATV. And one lucky grand prize winner will be driving a new Dodge Ram truck. Watch the Winston on TNN for your chance to win. Sponsored by Red Wing Shoes, Dodge, and Polaris. Don't miss your chance to enter TNN's Red Wing Shoes Work Hard, Win Big sweepstakes.
ECW Wrestling in the Thrill Zone on TNN. Heavyweight champion for only a moment, Tommy Dreamer is defeated in a surprise attack. ECW Wrestling, Friday at 8 Eastern on TNN.
We all have questions about love. Why not get the answers you need right now with a free psychic reading?
Congratulations. You recently got engaged?
Wow. I just got engaged 2 weeks ago.
Well, you better hope she doesn't find out that you spent last Sunday night with your old girlfriend.
Oh, hello? He hung up. I guess you really ran him. These psychics are real, so call us and try your free reading right now.
Call 1-800-906-4373.
Paying bills has been difficult since my husband got hurt. Bill collectors called day and night. We thought of bankruptcy, but then a friend told us about Garden State.
Garden State is a nonprofit agency that works with your creditors to make an affordable payment plan for all your bills.
After speaking with our counselor, we saved thousands of dollars in interest. Thank you, Garden State.
Get your bills together and call now for your free consultation. We can help you get out of debt. Call 1-800-99-BILLS.
Pretty much as expected, the Arizona Rattlers at home with a 3-1 record, doubling up the Los Angeles Avengers 28-14. Eli Gold, Ed Cunningham, back with you here at the America West Arena. Really, this game's going pretty much according to Hoyle.
Yeah, and Los Angeles had some chances early. They had a blocked field goal, and then they had an interception down deep. So they're hanging in there a little bit. They just need to make their possessions more points out of their possessions.
Why don't we check out some of the highlights and bring everybody up to speed on what's taken place so far. Very quickly, it was Arizona showing the way.
Cedric Bonner, who has not been sharp tonight, but there finds Gatewood on the slant, and then Marinovich gets to work with Chris Jackson. They started throwing some deep routes. Then things kind of came apart. Bob McMillan with the rush. Stacey Evans with the block. Arizona gets that in, and then Bob, of course, finishes off what he started with the rushing touchdown.
Now, the rushing game is working for Arizona, but look at the L.A. numbers. 3 carries for a -3 yards.
And only 2 touchdowns on those 6 possessions. L.A. was knocking on the door deep, but Hunky Cooper came up with a big interception from his linebacker spot.
So that's what's gone on in the first half here at the America West Arena as we get set to begin half number 2. Glad you're able to join us. There's Todd Marinovich. He has gotten stronger, or at least more confident, as the game has gone along.
Yeah, earlier in the game, he had some balls flutter on, getting used to getting rid of it so fast. It's funny, they call it a 5-step drop, but really it's only about 3.5 steps. He's getting used to that. And here is a guy who is always dangerous as a kickoff returner. Already has 1 touchdown return this year.
The kick by Kyle Pooler. Sailing away. So the touchback. They'll get things going from the 5-yard line as we begin half number 2. Cedric Bonner. A nice feature look at him, that Jill brought us on the Degree halftime report.
And Cedric has had such a nice career here in Arizona, and he said it best in that feature that he has been treated so well by this organization. That is one of the keystone marks of this organization, is how well they treat their players. And as free agency starts to become a reality in arena football, that's going to pay tenfold for this team.
Little movement on the line as the pass is complete, but it looked as though Eric Drakes jumped. And we'll wait and hear from our referee, Steve Pammon. 28-14, Arizona in black, the leaders.
Disregard the flag. There was no foul in the play.
Oh, that's the word.
Last week, Arizona had problems with the center quarterback exchange. They fumbled it 4 times against Nashville. They ended up having their 10th worst defeat in franchise history because of that. A game that would have been a lot closer had that not happened. But what Bonner did that time was he got a little hard count because it was James Barron, the very good and quick nose guard from Nashville, was getting such a good a little hard count right now.
Gatewood is open, but they throw long. And with a flag on the play, it sails incomplete. But Cliff Green again yields the hand. Wood was wide open in the left flat at around the 18-yard. Was looking long from the start.
Was that Hunky Cooper had position on Cliff Green, and the only thing Cliff Green could do was Hunky with the ball in the air.
5. Angeles.
Defense number 15. 8-yard penalty from the previous spot with an automatic first down.
Green had a little there. They got tangled up again. But Cliff, again, you know, you help. And when you don't really expect that many deep routes out of him.
So it's a 1st and 10 now from their own 18-yard line. The Arizona 3-1 next at Albany at the Pepsi. Quick strike coming back. You know, you were just talking about those quarterback and center snaps that went awry a weekend ago.
And I just saw Bonner there do another hard count. In the first half, there were 4 fumbled snaps. 2 of them, including that one by Darrell Hammond, were returned for touchdown for Nashville. And Cedric Bonner and Danny White just so frustrated. And really, when you talk to Danny, he said it's just something we want to forget. If you continue to talk about it, it's probably going to pop its ugly head up again.
Here's a 2nd and 6 from the 22. The toss sweep to McMillan goes nowhere. Eric Drakes was there and nearly a fumble. Victor Hall took the outside away, contained it nicely, and Eric Drakes just put Bob McMillan away.
And really, Victor Hall, what a nice job getting up the field that time. Tried to get a little hook block on Victor, a former tight end at Auburn. Was an all-SEC tight end, but has converted nicely to a defensive end in this league. Got great push up the field, and as Bob took the pitch from Cedric Bonner, almost fumbled because Victor Hall and the offensive lineman who was trying to block him were in his lap.
He is a truant officer in Orange County.
I didn't know they still had those.
Yep. 2 of 3 and 3rd down conversions. There's one right there to the 20-yard line, and Randy Gatewood with a big-time catch with Ken Hayslip on the cover. One of the stories there is that Gatewood's got about 4 inches in height, if not more, on Ken Hayslip at 5'9".
Randy Gatewood, anybody who's ever followed UNLV football knows that name. Back in 1994, this guy against Nevada set an NCAA record. He had 23 receptions for 363 yards in one ball game.
An All-America, All-Conference performer with the Runnin' Rebels.
Most guys don't leave college with that in their career.
No. From the LA 20, Hunky Cooper, the man in motion. Under pressure, it's thrown away. Victor Hall, we were just talking about big number 87. And there he came in. He was the leader in sacks when he played for the Barcelona Dragons in NFL Europe. So he's used to this kind of pressure move.
Little confusion. Bob McMillan thought he had the fullback. Oscar Sturgis thought he had the fullback. You get back to the huddle and say, hey, guys, who did you have? Well, I had him as well, so they just have to get that communication. There was obviously miscommunication in what protection Arizona was running.
We'll be back here on June the 1st. San Jose's SaberCats and the Arizona Rattlers coming up later this season on TNN Sports. Quick release on the delay screen, but it goes nowhere to Charlie Morris. Charlie out of Temple.
And we saw earlier a really good job by Charlie Morris when he was playing defense on Arizona's side of the ball, covering the tight end. That time he plays the tight end, and Eric Drakes, the defensive end for Los Angeles on his side, peels off and plays good coverage.
So wax left, that's Luke. Lee, roll right, T-snake screen left to the fullback on one left.
Here they're going to try it again, and Danny said, I didn't get that screen off. They're going to roll everybody in one direction and sneak the fullback out on the other direction to see if they can't get a little sneaky one in here.
The fullback is 44 McMillan. He gets behind the defender as he shoves off against Eric Drakes, but the pass was too high.
But you mentioned the name, Eric Drakes. That's two great heads-up play by Drakes. Got a penalty flag down on the field. Blending in with one of the signs. That's why we couldn't see it.
That's where it is, yeah. Steve Pammon. And they're going to march it back against Arizona. The big men encroaching upfield.
Ineligible receiver number 61 downfield. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Charlie Morris trying to get out in that screen to help downfield, but he has to stay unless he is the eligible receiver, which he was not that time. One of the guards is actually the tight end. That time Morris was a guard, could not get downfield to help block for Bob McMillan.
So now Bjorn Nittmo will try one. A 35-yard attempt, make it 36 officially. Not gonna go. It's live off the net. Run back by Corey Johnson. Good field position out to the Arizona 21-yard line. So missing from 36 yards is Bjorn Nittmo. We've got timeout with 9:24 remaining in the third. The Rattlers still doubling it up on Los Angeles.
Explosive tank action is back in Battle Tanks Global Assault, rated T for teen. Intense 4-player action. 12 powerful tanks. 24 national cities. More firepower. Battle Tanks Global Assault for PlayStation Game Console and N64.
You know, they say George got himself a new ride. Strong, runs good, turns on a dime. Got George so shook up, he's talking about getting that team roping.
Say, what kind of horse is this anyway?
It's a cutting horse.
New Husky lawn tractors from Tractor Supply. With up to 22 horsepower and a 46-inch deck, they've even got George straight out cutting.
It's true, but only on a Husky. Ready to ride now at Tractor Supply Company.
Who's asking about Viagra? Someone you might expect, and also someone that maybe you wouldn't. In fact, you may be surprised at who's talking to their doctors about Viagra. So ask your doctor if a free trial of Viagra is right for you. Who's asking about Viagra? Maybe it should be you.
I wouldn't
dial 0 if I were you, stranger.
But I need to make a collect call.
But 1-800-CALL-ATT can save you a fistful of bucks. Aim right down the center. 1-800-CALLATT. Come back, ATT, man, come back.
You can save big bucks. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
Arena Football on TNN is being brought to you by 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls for Mother's Day, for every day. 28-14 the score. Arizona at home here at the America West Arena in Phoenix against the Los Angeles Avengers. I'm Eli Gold. Alongside me is Ed Cunningham. And over there, Sam White. Coach, good to have you with us.
Well, it's great to be here. I hope you can understand my little scratchy voice going on right here. But this is my background being in the National Football League, and watching this faster, quicker, closer to the game sport has been terrific.
Stan Brock building an expansion team. It's a tough assignment.
Well, it is, but you know, he's doing the right things. He's trying to build a team feeling around them. And he reminds me of guys like Dick Duran or Tony Dungy or guys like that have played the game and they understand what's going through the players' minds.
Todd Marinovich is the quarterback. Larry Thompson in motion. Wide open, overthrowing Chris Jackson, who had 6 points just awaiting him. And Marinovich, that's a sight we've seen a good bit of tonight, picking himself up off the carpet.
And that's one thing Arizona wanted to try to do tonight with Marinovich, was force him to throw off his back foot. And Sam, as a former quarterback, he coached quarterbacks for a long time. It's a little awkward to see these guys throw off the back foot. I mean, would it be more difficult maybe to coach a guy to learn how to do that? Well, it is. You know, in outdoor football, you've got about 3.5 seconds to throw. Here you've got only 2.5. That way you have to get your balance so you're rolling over the front foot. But you got to find the laces on the football, too.
Looking for Jackson. No, he'll come the other way and overthrows Larry Thompson this time with Cedric Walker on the cover against Larry Thompson, who back in 1992 was the most outstanding player in the Eastern Conference of the Canadian Football League. So this guy's been around and he's been good, but Marinovich 0 for his last 4 to go with the 0 for 6 he had earlier this evening. So that's 10 that he has misfired on. Here now a third down situation. They are 1 of 4 in third down conversions. Marinovich going down. Derek Shepard, his first sack of the year. The veteran out of Georgia Tech.
Sam and I were just talking about how to build a team. Sam was talking about how Stan Brock builds it. Most coaches in arena football build their lines by getting defensive linemen first, offensive linemen second. Danny White does just the opposite. Derek Shepard is actually an exception. He was a 4-year starter at defensive end at Georgia Tech.
Big Derek Shepard at 6'2", 300. Signing with this team as a free agent. Now Kyle Pooler. That one will draw wide, and it's live again off the net. Dancing around is Maurice Bryant to the 10-yard line. 28-14, Arizona over Los Angeles. There is Danny White. Man, was he ever a talent in his Dallas Cowboy days and at Arizona State as well.
Yeah, I don't know a time that he wasn't a talent, whether he's coaching or whether he was playing. But with the disappointing loss last week, it's like you forgot everything you know about football for 7 days until you get a chance to play again.
You know, it's interesting. Danny White and his counterpart on the other side of the field, Stan Brock, 2 guys who've had opportunities to coach in the National Football League and have said, no, this is what we want to do.
Well, you know, this is a different kind of a situation. You've got more command. You got players that are hungrier here in the arena football than in the National Football League, and of course, they have complete control.
Cedric Bonner. He's going long, looking for Jai Hill. He is there. They trip over the padding that had come loose off the hockey dasher boards. And Corey Johnson flags him down at the 1. This building is also home to the Phoenix Coyotes of the NHL. And watch what happens here.
Sam, if it's not hard enough to play with walls, do you have to play with wrestling pads on the field as well? Well, they actually had one pad come down before the ball did.
38 yards, the reception by Jai Hill.
You know, when it's all said and done, you still have to throw good passes and make good catches and protect the quarterback. Nothing different from the indoor and outdoor game.
And all three of those, happened on that play.
Paul Reynolds is in as the fullback. He'll line up behind Bonner, number 35. From the 1. They fake the pitch and go for the back line of the end zone. Touchdown, Maurice Bryant.
The one thing Danny White has been able to do in all of his years in Arizona is keep good players around. And Sam, as you know, you have to have good players, but they lost a very good one in Calvin Schexnayder, who decided to try his hand in the NFL, and they bring a guy, Maurice Bryant. That's pretty good talent for a move right there.
Who was activated late for this ball game. Just today we found out that he was going to be active. But, you know, when you've got a player like that, you got to find a way to get him in the ball game. He's a great athlete, terrific athlete, and he just replaces another terrific athlete.
Bjorn Nitmo, who came over from Buffalo in the trade for quarterback Chad May, tacks on the extra point. And now it's 35-14. The Rattler fans just loving it. Their team, again, hitting on all 8 cylinders.
Garden Claw, one of America's favorite garden tools, is good as gold. It adjusts to fit gardeners of all sizes. Garden Claw Gold helps you cultivate, loosen, aerate, and weed without being tough on your back. The claw's steel tines tear through all kinds of soil, even clay, bringing moisture and oxygen to plants' roots. And it turns weeds and leaves into beneficial mulch. Garden Claw Gold makes a great gift.
Available at Home Depot and participating Ace, True Value, and Do It Best hardware stores. Makes a great gift.
You didn't care that I was divorced with a bad credit history, or that I'm on disability, or that nobody else would refinance my home. You saw past all that and helped me out. Paid off 3 mortgages, 5 credit cards, and found a little extra for home improvements. So here I am today with good credit again and a nice house. Thank you, Money Store. You believed in me. Sincerely, Barbara Labby.
The Money Store. 1-800-LOAN-YES.
Howie, remember the phrase from driver's ed class, 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock?
Yeah, Tara, I think that's when I took my break.
No, it's where you put your hands on the wheel like a clock.
Sure.
Now, what happens when you're driving and talking on the phone?
One hand at high noon with a me at 5 o'clock.
Not anymore, thanks to Radio Shack.
A unique Jabra ear set and cellular phone. Great gift for Mother's Day. Now with free activation at Radio Shack.
So you just stick this in your ear, Tara?
Yeah, Howie, just stick it in your ear.
Introducing new Castrol Super Clean Tire Gloss. It's specially formulated to give tires a brilliant shine. New Castrol Super Clean Tire Gloss. Shinier longer than all leading brands.
Mark, they're professionals. They will take care of her.
I know, but she's my baby.
What if they can't help her?
Mr. Stevenson, we've got that new starter in your car. She's ready.
Auto Value. We've got what you need.
It's a race for money and glory, where second place is the first loser. In this race, it's either checkers or wreckers. It's NASCAR's all-star race, the Winston, $1 million winners-only race. See it live May 20th at 7:30 Eastern, a part of TNN's winner-take-all weekend.
It's Bill Engvall in the TNN Sofa Cinema in New Orleans.
I'm a poker player.
Poker Alice, Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on the TNN Sofa Cinema.
See you Tuesday.
It was a 2-play scoring drive, 39 yards in 2 minutes and 7 seconds, padding the Arizona lead. Hey, folks, coming up Saturday night on TNN, the Pennzoil World of Outlaws, bringing their own kind of action to the action track. Sprint car racing at its best from the action track in Terre Haute, Indiana. Don't miss it. Wing Thunder, Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific, right here on TNN. Big racing doubleheader for you, because we'll be with the NASCAR Busch Series as well on Saturday afternoon up in
shameless plug.
New Hampshire. Thank you very much. Do tune in.
And no more shameless guy could have said it better out there.
Bjorn Nitmo getting set to kick it away. The man who still holds so many of the kicking records at Appalachian State University. The return by Corey. Johnson fights his way free to the 17-yard line.
You know, with a name like Bjorn Dittmo, you'd expect he does some world traveling. He's played in 6 different professional leagues: the NFL, the Arena Football League, the Canadian Football League, the World League of American Football, the European Football League, and the Regional Football League. I'm out of breath.
I would think. It's like you're reading through the whole encyclopedia there.
Somebody had to take over for Jan Stenerud, you know.
Good point.
John Clark is in as the fullback as Marinovich gets rid of it to Clark, who stumbles but can get up. It's like the regular stadium play game. If you're not touched, you can keep going. And then finally, Jai Hill puts John Clark down. Todd Marinovich releasing it nicely.
Well, what LA did that time was they ran the tight end down the seam, and Jai Hill, the Jack linebacker, coming up to make the tackle right there, had to run down the field with the tight end. You have to take the more dangerous of the 2 threats. A smart play by Jai Hill, but a very good call by Los Angeles to get the fullback out underneath that tight end.
Anthony Rice in motion. Going for Rice, it's behind him and knocked away by Cecil Doggett, who we had talked about on virtually every play early in the game. Then not for a while. That was the 5th pass he has broken up here this evening.
Sam, if you were coaching, got his arm hit, Marinovich did, and it flutters. But Sam, if you were coaching in this league, is that something you would, because of all the one-on-one, is just spend time concentrating on where are my matchups on this field?
Well, absolutely. You could try to get the... All of football is a matchup game, and you try to get your best against their weakest link if you can find it. But the pressure is getting on Marinovich almost every time, so the matchups are almost nullified.
Anthony Rice, the motion man. To Anthony Rice with Marinovich again getting tagged, and that one is for a touchdown. Cecil Doggett was the man on the cover, and that time Anthony Rice grabs the 17-yarder for a touchdown, but Marinovich once more had company.
Look at his eyes right here. Marinovich is following one-on-one coverage. The difference in this game and the outdoor game is that free safety's not lurking around to steal the ball. If you can put it on the... Put the laces up, and in the top corner, you can complete passes. Not as easy as it sounds.
I was going to say, yeah, with 3 guys with their ears pinned back.
Kyle Pooler just gets that extra point up inside the upright. It's now 35-21 as Todd Marinovich celebrates his birthday with a touchdown. Had a birthday Monday, and is happy to grab a win if he can.
Well, hey, Mr. Palmer, how can I help you?
Hi, Bill. Time to rotate those tires. Tires. Drive on.
Shoulder pads, knee pads. Now there's a new pad to keep you in the game. Boom! Tough Actin' Tenactin Sports Wipes. Get to those hard-to-reach places with the only leading brand that's so tough it prevents athlete's foot. Wipe out athlete's foot. New Tenactin Sports Wipes.
It didn't have to end like this. Armor All Protectant. Armor All Car Wax. It's not just shine, it's Armor All.
They're taking it off. All off. Roller Jam. And the skater with the most clothes on at the end of the race wins. Hey, cool it. You gotta watch to see the finish. Roller Jam. Friday at 9, 8 Central on TNN.
Hello, I'm Daphne Brogdon.
And I'm Gary Valentine.
We're your hosts on an exciting new show for movie lovers, Movie Showcase on DirecTV.
Each week, we'll show you the hottest new movies and original series on premium movie services, HBO, Starz, and Showtime.
And check out the newest releases on Direct Ticket Pay-Per-View.
Plus, movie trivia and more. There's a new show starting every Monday on Channel 100 and 500.
So join us on Movie Showcase on DirecTV.
The
The most radical, no-holds-barred fighting event ever comes to America. The Pride Fighting Championships 2000. The world's toughest of the tough prove who's #1. The long-awaited return of Ken Shamrock. Plus, see Mark Coleman, Mark Kerr, Brazilian legend Royce Gracie, the Russian machine Igor Vovchanchyn, plus Japanese sensation Sakuraba and Fujita. From the massive Tokyo Dome, the biggest fighting event ever on direct ticket pay-per-view. Coming Saturday, May 13th.
Officially an 18-yard touchdown pass, Marinovich to Anthony Reich. 3 plays, 33 yards in 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Hey, join us if you can next week. We'll be at the Ice Palace in Tampa for one of the more interesting matchups of the season, when former Tampa Bay superstar George LaFrance and his new team, the New Jersey Red Dogs, challenge the Storm. That's Charles Wilson, who now leads Tampa Bay's offense. He tries to show why he is the man for the Storm. New Jersey at Tampa Bay next Thursday at 8 Eastern and Pacific. And don't forget, you can log on to AFL on TNN.com to learn more about that matchup.
Tommy Maddox, former NFL quarterback with New Jersey, starting to find his niche a little bit in this league.
Kyle Pooler. Hunky Cooper is deep. Off the slack net. Hunky with a big hole, and a flag is on the play. And Kyle Pooler with a super open field tackle at the 20-yard line.
Kyle Pooler, former Arizona Rattler, was picked up in the expansion draft a couple years ago. He had 9 tackles for Arizona on kickoffs. He was an all-state soccer player and all-region wide receiver in high school, North High School here in Arizona, where he still goes back and teaches math.
The 28-yarder's coming back.
Illegal block in the back, above the waist. Receiving team number 26, half the distance to the goal. First down.
So Hunky made it exciting, but it is coming back. And it'll be from their own 2-yard line. That Cedric Bonner will start. Only the second flag of the evening.
You know, you and I were talking earlier about left-handed quarterbacks, and Sam over here has been on the field with a couple of good ones.
I can remember coaching Boomer Esiason looking across the field at Steve Young for the 49ers. It was a little comfort having Boomer with me, but not watching Steve.
Quick release, Hunky Cooper breaks one tackle, cannot get away from the second man, though. It will be Jason Fletcher who finally put him down after Ken Hayslip spun him around.
Been around football for a long time, as well as Coach Weiss. We met with Hunky the other day. The best compliment I can give Hunky Cooper, he's a great man. Regardless of being an athlete or anything like that, he is just a great man to be around.
He's impressive. I mean, you walk away saying, I'd like to have him on my team or in my organization.
Bonner takes time, looking long, and overthrows yet again Maurice Bryant. Ken Hayslip was with him, stride for stride. We've seen that, what now, about 4 or 5 times tonight.
Coach, it seems that Cedric is having a little trouble with that deep ball, especially on the post to Bryant. What could be going wrong for a quarterback?
Well, if I was coaching this quarterback, I'd say put the air under the ball, which just means that you lay the ball up, leave it in the air a little bit longer, and let your receiver box out the defender and make it look like a perfect throw. The ball's being thrown online so much, if it's off target at all, it's overthrown.
Bonner, 13 of 24, 184 yards and 3 touchdown passes. Inside the final minute of the third quarter. Yo-yo motion for Bryant. Quick hit to Bryant. But he's spun around by Cliff Green at the 15-yard line. Plenty, though.
Bryant on one of the earlier in the game. That time you could see him gripping for his life on that football. He almost squeezed the air out of it.
Put the ball away, as the receiver coach has told him since he was old enough to catch. There was an example of a ball being thrown on line. So much of arena football, the ball has to be thrown. Don't leave the ball in the air very long. And when you do get those long throws, you're not quite as accurate. You're not used to it.
Final play of the quarter. If they get it off, they do with a second to spare. Bonner looking long. Touchdown, Muhammad Oliver. Beating Ken Hayslip, 34 yards, touchdown.
You know, Stan Brock is getting tired of seeing Muhammad Oliver. He was just taken off the IR against Stan. And back in 1998, the first game An Arizona Rattler in the Arena Football League. He had a 19-yard interception return against the Portland Forest Dragons. The coach was Stan Brock. He's getting tired of number 26.
Oliver, though, he's been around. He's played in the NFL with Denver. He's been with the Chiefs, been with Green Bay, Miami. A lot of special teams work for most of those teams. Washington Redskins as well. Bjorn, one more time. And the margin begins to stretch. Third quarter is done. Yeah. You guys got the job done. Even the Buffalo is smiling, trust me.
Victory! Our boys came through in the end and returned home heroes to all onlooking admirers.
So, if you had to do it all over again, would you?
Hi.
Only if I could bring those bazookas with me.
Introducing Army Men World War. The boys are going back to war, and this time you're calling the shots. Available for your PC and PlayStation game console. Rated everyone through teen. Army Men World War.
Good to go.
Places I started singing in down here in South Texas got the ladies in by dropping the cover charge. Well, Tractor Supply Company's done that one better. They put in things women shop for every day. Jeans, clothing, horse and pet supplies, seed, garden tools, riding tractors, and a lot more. So ladies, don't be bashful about that word tractor, because there's a lot in those Tractor Supply Company stores for you too. Oh, and no cover charge either.
Now at McDonald's, buy one new Chicken McGrill or a new crispy chicken sandwich, get one free. Made hot, fresh, right to order, with a surprisingly great taste.
Whoa, that was only the first bite.
Buy one chicken sandwich, get one free. So where should you get going? Did somebody say McDonald's? A worldwide Olympic partner.
Alonzo. Best nutritional supplements are your secret weapon.
Can we talk about this later?
So, EAS is your supplement of choice.
I said later.
I suppose you've never seen this Myoplex before. Myoplex helps energize performance. You think it helps you get to the playoff?
Let's just say EAS gives me the edge.
Get the edge. Look for special offers on Shop, GNC, Vitamin World, and other fine health food stores.
Nightfall here in the Valley of the Sun, downtown Phoenix. There's a great look at the America West Arena, where TNN Sports is with you and all of those folks for the Arena Football League tonight, and the Arizona Rattlers up comfortably. It's amazing what a difference 1 week will make after the mistake-filled game against Nashville.
It was funny today when we were meeting with the players. They were saying, we're glad it's a short week. We're glad we're playing on Thursday. I mean, Sam, you remember as a player and a coach, you want to get after a game like last week, just get back to the field.
Give yourself a chance to get that good feeling again. And honestly, from a coaching standpoint, you probably shouldn't overthink it. Just get them back out there doing things they do naturally and let them win a game.
Bjorn Nitmo set to kick it away to Corey Johnson, the deep man for Los Angeles. Just tuning in, the Arizona Rattlers are in the black uniforms. Los Angeles in the white with blue and red. And that one sails into the seats, a souvenir for a first row patron, and the touchback. It'll be a 1st and 10 from their own 5-yard line for the Los Angeles Avengers. Well, there's Cecil Doggett. He's had himself a night tonight, hasn't he?
Ed, you talked about him early, but as a former NFL coach, I can tell you that's the kind of quickness that you see in the National Football League. There's a difference between quickness and speed. In this game, you need a lot of quickness because you got to close on a smaller court.
Quick release behind the intended receiver. Johnson, who makes the play, then fumbles the football. Bob McMillan's going to come up with the football.
No, the officials
calling. The officials are saying the play was down.
Wow, I don't know. That ball looked like it came out as Bob made the tackle, and these fans are not happy with it. It really looked from up here, Eli, that ball came out.
Yeah, and I think they blew the whistle way back here around the 15-yard line, and that play was actually over.
They called his knee down.
Yeah.
They called his knee down on the 15-yard line, so I think you said, Sam, that they had blown it dead because his knee had hit the ground. Right there. Yeah.
Crowd noise just took away everybody's reaction. It's as if the play's live because nobody could hear that whistle.
It looked like he had kept his balance, though, by putting that hand down. And Corey Johnson was a safety at the University of Georgia, had never played offense in the Arena Football League. That's a old running back drill he's using.
So Todd Marinovich from his own 15. Nicely clutched by Larry Thompson, who does a good bit of work to hang on to it. Cedric Walker there just watching. There's Walker. One-man wrecking crew he is when he gets to you.
He is physical. You need somebody that can come up quickly. Remember early in the ball game, LA could not run the ball outside because of the quick contained by Walker and Doggett too.
From their own 21, Marinovich to throw. Marinovich to go. That will be Darren Kinney. 2 years with Albany, 3 years with Arizona. His second sack of the season. He is a super all-around lineman, Darren Kinney is. Watch this.
Darren Kinney coming from his nose guard spot. Gets away, and as Marinovich tries to throw it, no question, he was down before he was able to throw the ball. So a good call by the officials. But Darren Kinney, I just mentioned, Sam, about how Danny White likes to build teams. This guy was an offensive lineman and All-American in college.
I played for a guy named Paul Brown and coached under him, and he used to say, build your team from inside out. The people closest to the ball first, and then go on out.
LA is 1 of 5 in third down conversions, and nearly an interception by Cecil Doggett. Nearly an interception by Cecil. They were looking for Corey Johnson.
If I'm coaching on the sideline with the Avengers, I'm coming off the bench right now because that looked like Doggett got there before the ball did. Let's see if we can see it. Here's the release. Does Doggett or the ball arrive first? Pretty close, I guess.
They arrived concomitantly.
Excuse me?
They got there
Bless
time.
you.
Oh, okay.
Gesundheit.
Yeah, I've been out of school a long time. We never use those words anyway.
Sam, you never went to school. Who you kidding?
And the pride of the Paladins of Furman. Here's a 4th and 9. They're going to go for it down by as many points. A field goal doesn't help. That does, though. A first down strike to Larry Thompson. That'll do the job with Muhammad Oliver on the cover. Big-time throw right there by Marinovich.
Todd Marinovich moves to his left a lot. He's a left-hander. See if, well, this time he's planting ready to go, but when he scrambles, he moves to his left more than the right. And that's just part of the scouting report as they play in future games. Teams are going to be protecting the scramble to the left.
As you see, times are fleeting, and they need a lot of points, the Avengers do. Complete again to the 13-yard line. Chris Jackson run out by Cecil Doggett. That'll be the 16th completion of the evening, 32nd try. So he's batting 50%. Marinovich is now out over 215 yards in passes.
And it was so funny seeing Cecil Doggett come away from that play. He was upset he gave up that. I mean, he's so competitive that he was upset. And that's par for the course in this game. You're going to have to give up some 9-yard routes.
That's why they'll probably be 4-1 when this is over.
Nice hang on by Larry Thompson. Made the grab and absorbed the hit by Cecil Doggett. Great job to hang on by Thompson.
Sam, this is an interesting quandary to be in as an offensive coach. Because, yes, you get the ball down inside the 5, but as you've started to learn this game, you realize it's no bargain inside the 10-yard line because of those linebackers.
No, and the reason is the 8-yard end zone. And it's only 2 yards different from the National Football League, which is a 10-yard deep end zone. But those 2 yards are crucial because the linebacker now becomes part of the defense in arena football, whereas in the open field, he really is not.
Marinovich throws a bullet, nearly intercepted by Doggett. Cecil in the first quarter and the fourth quarter has been, you got it, number 1.
And the crowd is calling for the dog walk. He won't give it unless he gets an interception or a big breakup late in the game.
That's the 7th pass he's broken up tonight, Coach.
Watch the way he closes on it. Change of direction. When you're scouting players coming out of college, there's something called COD, change of direction. He's got it.
And the crowd then he usually gets down on all fours and walks like a dog, but that he's going to save it for something bigger, I think.
From the 5. Puts too much air under it. That time there's a flag on the play as he was looking to Larry Thompson.
Where that was thrown, it's not pass interference. Some form of illegal motion or something on the outside by Thompson.
I think Denwan McGee may have been holding or committing a foul of some kind.
Illegal formation on the offense. The slot man lined up on the line of scrimmage.
That'll be the 6th flag of the night against Los Angeles. Marinovich now 17 of 35, 221 yards, 3 touchdowns and an interception.
And if you're wondering why a lot of penalties are declined in this league, that was only a 3-yard penalty, so much better for Arizona. Plus, the tighter you are to the end zone, it's tougher to score, so you're going to decline a lot of those 3-yard penalties.
Todd is going to run. He'll throw. It's intercepted by Muhammad Oliver. Intercepted by Muhammad Oliver, his first pick of the year, and he will run it back out across the 15 to the 16. While behind the play at the 16, there are bodies rolling around on the turf. Bob McMillan and others. There you see him getting up.
They were just having a little social down there.
Yeah. Marinovich twice intercepted in the end zone tonight.
And that's judgment by a quarterback. When you throw a ball like that and the coverage is underneath, the defender is between you and the receiver, that's just poor judgment. You got to pull it down, throw it away, run if you can, do something else with the ball.
Hunky Cooper did it earlier, and now Muhammad Oliver. Well, Arizona comfortably in control. You can smile now. Your guys are up by plenty.
This summer, love is never having to say you're sorry you made a sex tape with another girl and accidentally mailed it to your girlfriend.
Oh my God. I have to get to that tape before my girlfriend gets back to her school. Road trip.
They're already on the road. But you've got to wait till May 19th.
Wait a minute. There's a sneak preview tomorrow night.
Awesome.
Road trip, rated R.
We're all going to see it sooner or later. At the sneak preview tomorrow night.
This is one smart Kenmore dishwasher door. She's gonna really love it.
Me?
Yes, because if the dishes are really dirty, it washes them longer. It's a perfect Mother's Day gift.
For you, Sam.
Yeah, well, no more dishpan hands. What do you say, my darling?
Happy Mother's Day, honey.
Sears has a gift for every mom and 0% financing on all Kenmore Ultra Wash dishwashers until May 2001, including this one, just $399.88.
You owe me, Sam.
Father's Day is just around the corner, baby.
Who's asking about Viagra? Someone you might expect, and also someone that maybe you wouldn't. In fact, you may be surprised at who's talking to their doctors about Viagra. So ask your doctor if a free trial of Viagra is right for you. Who's asking about Viagra? Maybe it should be you.
Race fans, catch the excitement of NASCAR on TNN. Enter TNN's Red Wing Shoes Work Hard, Win Big sweepstakes. You could win fabulous prizes. A trip to see a live NASCAR Winston Cup race, this Dodge Ram truck, or a Polaris ATV. Here's what you have to do. Watch the Winston live Saturday, May 20th on TNN. Identify the position of car number 43, John Andretti, at the end of the 50th lap. Then go to a Red Wing Shoe store for your official entry form, or send the answer on a postcard with your name and address to TNN's Red Wing Shoes Work Hard, Win Big sweepstakes. TNN Station, Box 3582, Southbury, Connecticut 06488, or enter online at country.com. First prize, a trip for 2 to the MBNA Platinum 400 at Dover. Second prize, a rugged Polaris ATV. And one lucky grand prize winner will be driving a new Dodge Ram truck. Watch the Winston on TNN for your chance to win. Sponsored by Red Wing Shoes, Dodge, Polaris, and Bell Atlantic. Don't miss your chance to enter TNN's Red Wing Shoes Work Hard, Win Big sweepstakes.
Well, we have just seen a 6-minute and 39-second drive for Los Angeles that yields nothing but a Muhammad Oliver interception in the end zone. But, Joe, the fans here at America West, they just love that.
You betcha. I found 3 real loyal fans here in Arizona. They've been coming for 7 years. Hey, guys, what is so great about this arena football that makes you dress like this?
Arizona Rattlers!
What makes you such avid fans?
Because we have Rattler champions here in Arizona, and we like coming back because we know they're going to be champions again.
Hey, well, you guys look pretty good tonight. You think you got a chance for the playoffs this year?
Oh, yes.
Without a doubt.
Very much.
Without a doubt. This is a perennial team. It's always going to be in Arizona. Every year, it's got to come through Arizona. Everybody's coming through Arizona.
All right, well, there you got it, guys. Back to you.
Gene Simmons, Ace Frehley, and the whole group from KISS.
Those are amazing tattoos, aren't they?
They really are. Hey, fans like that are what makes this, that's what makes sports so special. Paul Reynolds is the fullback. Sed Bonner going long. Hunky, oh, nice play by Ken Hayslip. Big-time defense. 5th pass he has broken up this year. That one saved the touchdown to Hunky.
Hunky, all of 5'9". Hayslip, one of the few guys on the field that he actually has a height advantage over.
Nice.
Great play. Yeah, just right over the top.
You know what made that happen, though? Look how much time Bonner has compared to what Todd Marinovich has had on the other side of the ball. The offensive line's giving him a chance to throw the ball that far down the field. It all starts up front.
From their own 15-yard line. Plenty of time again, and wide open is Bryant. He stumbles, he regains control, and he goes in, beating Ken Hayslip that time. Maurice Bryant, 35 yards, touchdown.
When we talked to Danny White earlier this week, he kind of held his cards a little bit and said that Maurice Bryant wouldn't play. You mentioned, Sam, that he was just a late-minute addition, but he said this guy is a racehorse, not a workhorse. And so they've kind of been giving him a little extra time to get that hamstring ready because he's just one of those guys who's a pure athlete.
As I mentioned earlier, the difference between quickness and speed. There's also football speed versus straight-ahead 40-yard dash speed. He's got all of it.
He was the game MVP in the season opener against Iowa. Extra point is no good, and the ball is dead off the net on the extra point conversion. Bjorn Netmo says, here's how we got to do it, Sed.
Harvey Wallbanger.
That's no bull.
This preview contains 4 slices of hot, melted cheese. A cheese sauce with a real racy kick. Plus 2 thick, juicy quarter-pound burgers. That's a lot of meat for national television. Got the urge?
What are you thinking, Arnie?
Vigoro.
Arnold Palmer's Bay Hill Club uses the high-performance technology of Ultra Vigoro lawn fertilizer. It greens in 72 hours and lasts up to 3 months. If it's good enough for Arnie's lawn, just imagine what it will do for yours. Buy it at the Home Depot.
I like competition. I want to make it to the Olympics. Fly higher than 6'10". Get a higher education and learn more about life. See places my dad told me about. I want to show people that I can fix anything. Listen to a CD of my own music. Make my own decisions. Make myself known. Be a hero to someone.
You have plans. Let the Air Force help you get them off the ground.
I want to ride a motorcycle across the desert.
Garden Claw, one of America's favorite garden tools, is good as gold. It adjusts to fit gardeners of all sizes. Garden Claw Gold helps you cultivate, loosen, aerate, and weed without being tough on your back. The claw's steel tines tear through all kinds of soil, even clay, bringing moisture and oxygen to plants' roots. And it turns weeds and leaves into beneficial mulch. Garden Claw Gold makes a great gift.
Available at Lowe's and participating Ace, True Value, and Do It Best hardware stores. Makes a great gift.
Old Harvey Wallbanger making those laps, talking a little trash to the folks in the front row. I guess the only other time I can remember that when Bama played Colorado in the bowl game, and the Buffaloes appropriately have a live Buffalo mascot.
We were playing at the University of Colorado my junior year as I'm walking out of the locker room to start the second half, talking to my line mate about what to do, have my head turned as we're walking out. Ralphie, as they run him around the field, I hear the crowd start to cheer next to me. I look up. Ralphie is full bore right at me. 10 yards away. Now he has handlers holding on to him, and they're barely holding on. Now I was close to 3 biscuits at the time. I still don't think I would have won that battle.
If Ralphie had gotten a hold of you, there would have been more than 3 biscuits around. Lordy, that's scary. Corey Johnson to the 17-yard line, put away by Jai Hill and Brian Drumming. Hey, the monsters are coming out every Friday night here on TNN. That's when those car-crushing, hard-charging monster trucks let it all hang out. Hope we can check out the action on TNN Motor Madness every Friday night at 10 Eastern and Pacific, a part of TNN's Thrill Zone Friday. Sam, you ever deal with any live mascots when you're with the Bengals? They have a...
Well, you'd hope not, right?
Yeah. No, I was always the last guy on the field anyway, but never a... Who's the guy that first put that bit in that Buffalo's mouth? Well, I don't know. There's a guy. There's a man now.
Todd Marinovich. Oh, needs some help off the hands of the intended receiver, Larry Thompson. Cecil Doggett was there to watch.
I played a few football games in Ohio during my day, and they had about 70,000 live animal mascots at every game.
Great fans, I'll tell you that. We had a lot.
Well, as an opposing player, I didn't call them great.
Well, that was part of that home field. But we had a live Bengal tiger they used to leave down the end zone. No one would sit around. Have you ever smelled a live Bengal tiger?
Not on purpose.
Yeah, it's a lot like a buffalo, I'll tell you that.
On the 2nd and 10, Marinovich. High release, but it's hauled down by Chris Jackson. Fumbles it off the wall, out of bounds, so it remains Los Angeles football.
Quick rules of the game. If the ball does not touch the line on a fumble, if it hits the wall and comes back in, it is still a live ball. However, the official said that the ball did touch the line over by the Bank of America sign.
So that's true, rather. Even if the ball does hit the ground first, come off the wall, as long as it doesn't touch the ground, it's still live.
And the ball now comes back a couple of yards because they're not going to advance a fumble by Chris Jackson. It has to come out where he dropped the ball, come back to where he dropped it.
Yeah, but you've already said Bank of America, so they've already got their point.
18 of 38 is Todd Marinovich. 233 yards now. Many USC records as quarterback for the Trojans. Jackson has 9 receptions for 120 yards tonight. High and off the mark, looking for Larry Thompson, who paid with his body that time. Cedric Walker really drilled Thompson.
Part of the setup was the high throw. But I think Todd Marinovich knows that he doesn't have to look over to the coach to see if anybody's warming up, because once you make a change at quarterback in particular, you stay with it. You let him know plenty of time during the week if you're going to make a change, but he's going to stick with Todd Marinovich regardless of the score. That's the thing to do.
From the 21 of Arizona. Rattlers are up big. There's a nice grab to Larry Thompson. He'll take it down to the 6-yard line. Had a chance to talk with Todd Marinovich here yesterday at the arena, and I had what I thought was a logical question to talk about the differences between this league and the NFL.
A little adjustment, mainly the size of the field, and because of that, you have to get rid of the ball a lot quicker. And it's all is a good thing, and I'm picking it up, I think, rather quickly, and we'll see.
Todd Marinovich now looking at a 1st and goal from the 6. There's a strike for the touchdown. Chris Jackson, his favorite target this evening, picks up a 6-yard touchdown pass, and that's the man who could not make the stop.
Washington State fans remember this guy, Chris Jackson, the amazing 97 season put together by Washington State on their march to the Rose Bowl. Almost knocked off Michigan. Chris Jackson, 11 receiving touchdowns in the 97 season, still a school record at Washington State.
And he is number 4 in the Pac-10 in all-time receiving. Of course, when you're Ryan Leaf's favorite target, that'll help you with those kind of numbers.
Unless you play for the San Diego Chargers.
And with that, Kyle Pooler adds the extra point, and Chris Jackson has another touchdown reception. But this one's about done. The Rattlers by 20.
Indy winners demand great performance, but so do you. Firestone introduces the Firehawk SS20 for road-hugging stability that reflects very well on its owner. The Firehawk SS20 with Unity Ultimate Tire technology from Firestone. Firehawk, born at Indy, performs everywhere.
Get this Firehawk Target Chip Ganassi Racing Champions jacket free when you buy 4 Firehawk tires with Unity or Unity AQ.
Nice jacket.
Thanks.
I wouldn't dial 0 if I were you, stranger. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT. For the same low rate, every minute, everywhere, dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
It didn't have to end like this. Armor All Protectant. Armor All Car Wax. It's not just shine, it's Armor All.
Shake, rattle, and roll. TNN Winner Take All Weekend. Thursday, Arena Football. Friday, ECW Wrestling. Then Roller Jam. Saturday, so your favorite NASCAR drivers take home the cash in the Winston. Winner Take All Weekend. Only on TNN Sports.
If you're ready to lose weight, muscle up, and get back into shape, I've got a free video you're gonna love.
Introducing a winning fitness strategy.
You gotta eat healthy, drink plenty of water, and most importantly, strength train with Bowflex.
Strength training adds muscle. Not only does your shape look better, you actually increase your metabolism, so you end up burning more calories.
Strength training these days isn't just for men. It's great for women, too. And Bowflex is designed for both. It's even been called the best home gym by Fitness Magazine.
Use as little as 5 pounds to more than 400 pounds of resistance. Follow our 6-week fast fat loss program or create your own from over 60 different health club quality exercises.
Bowflex is easy to own, and it fits in any room in your house. It comes with a 6-week guarantee on results, and you can finance it with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. Hey, I'm 41, and I'm in the best shape of my life. And I can tell you, Bowflex really does work.
For a free video and brochure on the machine that can help you get into great shape at any age, call right now.
The deep man is Maurice Bryant, while the former All-Big 8 kicker from Mizzou, Kyle Pooler, sets to boot it away for the Los Angeles Avengers. Late in the fourth, just 2:28 remaining, and the Rattlers are up by 20. And they'll get the ball back. Bryant outside the containment to the 20. Bryant hold down from behind. Anthony Rice, the big-time charge to chase him down after a 43-yard return. Cedric Walker, Jai Hill, some big-time blocks to open up the running lanes.
Yeah, don't forget the blockers. You can see out in front. And the read is in the wide field is you just run to the daylight part of the football field with blocks like that. Remember, they can't block below the waist, just like the NFL. You've got to block above, which makes it a tough block on kick returns.
In quarterback now. Here's a change. Lance Thunderberg in goes to Gatewood. First play, first pass, touchdown. Lance Thunderberg in at quarterback, and he makes it count with a 12-yard touchdown. His first play of the season.
That's like a guy coming off the bench in the fourth quarter and nailing a 3 in his first shot. Thunderberg, an interesting story, was brought in last year. A lot of injury problems. Cedric Bonner was not here. Donnie Davis got hurt late in the year. They brought in Thunderberg. 4 days later, he had to start at quarterback. Did not have a great game, but then started the first playoff game and actually played very well. So he was trialed by fire here for Arizona in '99.
And Nitmo converts. You're right, Thunderberg last year, 1 touchdown, 106 yards, 3 interceptions. The quarterback from Valdosta State, who is still the #2 all-time passer in Valdosta State history. How about it coming in off the bench stone cold like that, Sam, and then throwing a touchdown strike to Randy Gatewood.
Yeah, Gatewood made it possible, though. He did a beautiful little stutter free step and then broke to the inside. Thunderberg has to come in, has to feel like, gee, this game is not as tough as I first thought. You know, interesting little sideline here is that Cedric Bonner comes out of the game with 259 yards. Last week, he threw the ball for 388 yards. They did not win. It's where you throw it, timing, and, of course, how the rest of your football team's playing.
And 5 turnovers will sink you real fast. When you look at the stats from last week's game, Arizona outdrove them for almost 100 yards of offense. They had almost 10 first downs more than Nashville, but when you lay it on the carpet 5 times, 2 of those for touchdowns, doesn't matter how well your quarterback plays.
Even against not so good a football team, but Nashville is.
Lance Thunderberg played with the Montreal Alouettes in the Canadian Football League. Goes from the big field to the indoor arena.
Yeah, Danny White having a little bit of a chuckle there, because I'm sure Danny White knows how good that feeling is to go in there and be that successful that fast.
Thunderberg's going to try to start a little controversy this week in the locker room.
Oh, you bet.
Quarterback.
Oh, they'll start right now when they shower.
Bit of a shorter kick. Chris Jackson. Jackson, can he be put away by Nitmo? He forces him off the wall and he steps out of bounds.
Is it just me, or are these the best tackling kickers in the AFL that you've ever seen in your life?
Every week we're seeing them. Carolina we saw, everywhere we're going. Remy Hamilton was super. 49-yard return right there with Bjorn Nitmo forcing it out of bounds.
You know, when I was playing ball for Paul Brown, used to make kickers and quarterbacks and offensive players practice tackling just because they do get into situations like that. You've never been there before, you don't do it right.
And he did a great job of playing the wall. I mean, he kind of played that little cat and mouse with Jackson until he got him close to the wall where he could try to use a little bit of his speed to knock him out. A good job with angles by Nitmo as well.
You see, 1 minute remaining. Timeouts. Each team has their full complement of 3.
And now Stan Brock is playing for next week and the week after.
Next game, a home meeting with the Houston Thunder Bears at the Staples Center in downtown L.A.
But this L.A. team is on the road, including this week and last. 4 of 5 ball games on the road. They're home and then on the road again.
Right
2
after
weeks.
that home game, they go to San Jose and to New England. Incomplete to Chris Jackson from Todd Marinovich.
Sam, I'd like to get your thoughts on this, because what I've seen with Marinovich and talking to Stan Brock, he said the hardest thing he's going to have to do is throw the ball before guys are open. Or have you seen him try to make that adjustment so far?
Well, he will always be trying to get better and better at that. You've got to anticipate the throw, not only where your receiver's going to be, but where the defenders are going to be. You get so much more man-to-man coverage in arena football, though. You're really throwing right to a spot as the guy comes out of his break. If you wait too late, he's covered again.
From the 6, loose football.
And we have a scrum.
We have a scrum going. Little rugby action here. Recovered by Los Angeles.
You know, when I was in college, we were playing San Jose State, and I ended up on the bottom of a pile. And a guy had the ball. We had fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
But he had my leg in his arm. Bottom of the pile. He obviously has possession. And I took my leg
story
and wrenched his arm open and took the ball from him.
Did you?
And he couldn't scream louder than official, but we kept possession. Smartest play I ever made. Made a lot of dumb ones, though.
I used to bring up to the rules committee that once that pile starts, no one should be allowed to get in there, because that's exactly what happens. They create a big enough pile that somebody can steal the ball in the bottom of it. Of course, they weren't listening to me, and they told me to sit down and shut up.
The officials didn't listen to you?
Never, actually. Let me think of it. No, never.
It didn't take long, did it?
No. I think they probably had good reason.
55-28. This is the lowest output point-wise for Los Angeles this season. They scored 31 on the opening weekend at Grand Rapids. They scored 33 at home against Arizona. Right now they've got 28. Excuse me, they scored 33 at home against Oklahoma. And now they've got 28 against Arizona. The fumble recovery snaps the ball from the 9. To the 2. That one is intercepted. Intercepted by Cecil Doggett. Are we going to see the dog walk?
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. I have no idea what that was.
It ain't pretty, but it's a celebration.
I think that was the catch a whiff of the ball dance.
Listen to these numbers. Look at that. 2 tackles, 8 passes broken up. Has the interception.
Well, the only reason he could only muster 2 tackles is he was too busy knocking the balls away. He didn't have to tackle the receiver. Hey, Cecil, I like the dog walk better than whatever that was you and Cedric just did.
Well, let me tell you, they didn't like the icky shuffle at first either, but
it grew on them.
Yeah.
That might have been a variation of the dog walk. One guy was the dog, maybe one was playing the part of the fire hydrant or something. I couldn't tell what they were doing.
Okay, let's not get too deep into the, the meetings of these things. He's just celebrating an interception.
Well, Los Angeles is going to drop to 0-5 on the year, while the Arizona Wranglers, excuse me, the Rattlers are back on the winning ways with a 4-1 record. 55-28. The final score for the Rattlers over the Avengers. As for the tough Acton, Tenacton, Iron Man of the game, that guy right there, Hunky Cooper. For tough cases of athlete's foot, there's tough Acton, Tenacton. And when things get tough on the gridiron, there's Hunky Cooper offensively and defensively.
You know, tough Acton, Tenacton for your feet. Here's a guy back in '97 who sawed off part of his big toe and half of his middle toe in a lawnmower accident the first day of training camp. He was back 4 weeks later.
Folks, stick around. We are together till the top of the hour. We've got Jill coming along to host post-game coverage from the field. Lots yet to come. The postmortems on the Rattlers win when we come back to America West.
Pep Boys knows how to give you a great deal on tires. They don't run specials on just one size. Pep Boys discounts every size in stock. That means all 35,000-mile tires are 4 for $99. And all 70,000-mile tires are 4 for only $169. Even top-of-the-line 80,000-mile touring tires, all sizes 4 for $199. Call it a bonanza, an extravaganza. It's how you save on tires.
Pep Boys. Cars like us. People love us. Can you recommend a good air filter?
Can I recommend a good air filter? Can a duck waddle? Fram. The only air filter with triad fiber technology. Tiny orange fibers that hold dirt inside their microscopic channels. Up to 48% more dirt than any leading competitor. Take it, use it, live it.
Thank you.
Don't thank me. Thank Fram.
Fram filters. Pay a little more now or pay a lot later.
Explosive tank action is back in Battle Tanks Global Assault, rated T for teen. Intense 4-player action. 12 powerful tanks. 24 levels in international cities. More firepower and destruction. Battle Tanks Global Assault for PlayStation Game Console and N64.
TNN Action Wednesdays. One hot night. Wednesday on 18 Wheels of Justice.
They burned my church.
Folks down here think it's a work of a local hate group.
Is it a hate crime or just a cover-up for a bad real estate deal?
I think I know who built the church, and I'm going to take you down.
Explosive action abounds. 18 Wheels of Justice. Wednesday at 9 Eastern on TNN Action Wednesdays. One hot night.
Those are the final numbers, 55-28 for the Arizona Rattlers. They improved to 4 up and 1 down, while the LA Avengers dropped to 0-5 in their initial season in the Arena Football League. Jill Arrington down standing around the 18-yard line, and she's found a star of the game.
I sure have. I have the Iron Man of the game. Now, Hunky, you had 103 total yards and interception. What made the difference tonight? What kept your team together to come out with a win?
I think last week, you know, we came out last week and we disappointed our fans around here. So we went to work and practice, forgot about last week, and then we had a motivator, and we went in and we saw flashes of old. We saw Sad Walker flying around banging people. We saw Cedric making great throws, receivers making big catches. And what can you say about the pass rush and Cecil Doggett? I tell you, Cecil came in and played. We had a full 1-hour football game tonight. We didn't play for a half or 30 minutes. We played a complete 1-hour football game, and we had success.
Tell me who this little guy is over here.
This is my son, AJ. I have 2 more sons, Derek and Nigel and Brianna. I have Destiny and I have Simone. So I have a bunch of them, and you know, this is just one of them that's here this time. But I love all my kids and want to say hi to all of them and everybody in Palestine and Las Vegas. But more than anything, thanks TNN, because this league is about to take off, and I'm glad you guys are part of it.
Well, we thank you, and good game. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, guys, I'm going to try to find another player for you, but for now, we're going to go back up to you.
All right, Jill, thanks a lot. I'll tell you, Hunky, he's a dandy, regardless of what he said about the network. In all seriousness, we talked yesterday, and you just walk away, you shake your head, and you say, is this man for real? What a classy individual.
Well, he is for real, and I think there's a lot of people who play professional sports across America that can take a page out of his book. He's just a very good guy.
Who'd you find now, Jill?
Got Cedric Bonner here. You had 4 touchdowns tonight. You played a great game. What was the difference for this week?
We just tried to execute a little better, not give them any breaks. And, you know, if you give a team that's hungry some breaks, they're going to feed themselves and take advantage of it. And we tried not to do that, and we did a good job.
Well, I tell you, you played a great game, but our Ed Cunningham says you had a little trouble with the deep throws, and you got taken out, and they put in the backup. You a little worried about your spot next week?
Tell E, the way he's dropping, no, I won't even go to that. But tell Ed, deep throws are fine. Everything's all right. We're good to go. Just wait and catch us next time on TNN.
Well, it really seemed like your team pulled together, the young and the old. I think you guys look good going into next week. What do you think you need to do next week, looking ahead?
Not kill ourselves, not shoot ourselves in the foot. I think mental mistakes and little mistakes like last week, fumbling snaps and things like that of that nature, that'll kill us every time, especially against a team like Albany. You know, we have to go in there and pretty much play our perfect game to win.
All right, well, good luck to you. Thanks for joining us. All right, guys, back to you.
First time I've seen him play in person. He's bigger than I expected, a much broader guy, and he plays well.
Yeah, he's a really good athlete. He was the MVP of the volleyball team as a senior at Cal State Northridge. Played basketball there. He still plays a lot of pickup basketball. Fantastic athlete.
Why don't we go back and check out some of the highlights of all that transpired here this evening in the Rattlers 55-28 win.
Well, I was kind of teasing Cedric about his long throws, but on the short throws, he was perfect. And Bob McMillan really came up big tonight. Chris Jackson, the go-to guy for Todd Marinovich. They'll work more on their timing. They will improve as the game goes on. And here was another big play by Bob McMillan, and he freed Stacey Evans for the block field goal, and Randy Gatewood, a guy that a lot of people, because of Calvin Schexnayder, who's no longer here, and Hunky Cooper, kind of the forgotten guy, really a key guy for Arizona.
In the second half, Maurice Bryant at the end line.
And Maurice Bryant not even expected to play tonight. Marinovich, he was very streaky tonight. He was over on some streaks and then looked fantastic. And then Muhammad Oliver, who's been a thorn in the side of Stan Brock. Great speed, a former decathlete at the University of Oregon.
So that were those are the stories right there in pictures. Numerically, well, there you see the rushing numbers as you'd expect in the Arena Football League. But the big difference, again, those that you always outline right there, Ed.
Yeah. 4 touchdowns on 11 possessions. It just, as LA's finally got something going, there's a few mistakes, an interception down deep.
play an expansion team. They have a win against winless Buffalo. It's going to be interesting to see how that West shakes out before it's done.
You know, and very early in the season for Los Angeles, they've got some things they can improve on, and if they do that, who knows? They might make a run. 12 teams out of the 17 go to the playoffs, so you're never really out of it till the end.
Over on the Central Division, look, there's Grand Rapids.
Milwaukee stole one from them last week in overtime.
Houston and Iowa, we'll be seeing them for the first time in a couple of weeks in the barn here on TNN.
And always one of the hottest divisions, both geographically and because of the teams Orlando, Nashville, Florida, and Tampa Bay. We saw them last week. They are playing so much better. They made a quarterback change, and it paid off big time with John Caleo last week.
That's what will be next week for the New Jersey-Tampa Bay game. And don't forget, over on the East, there's Albany and New England playing well. Of course, Buffalo made a coaching change on Monday. Dave Winham gone, and former NFL linebacker Ray Bentley comes out of the broadcast booth to take over.
And that's exactly what Stan Brock did back in 1997. 7 games into the year, he was doing the color commentary on their television games up in Portland. They said, hey, you want to come down and coach? So it seems to be a trend in the Arena Football League. I'm not leaving you, Eli.
It worked for Larry Durker in Major League Baseball. Why not in the Arena Football League? We're going to come right back. We've got more to bring you from America West Arena, an introspective on Hunky Cooper, and a preview of next Thursday's game from Tampa, all yet to come.
Boom! Stop dead in his tracks. That's how fast, tough-acting, tenactin pump spray.
Carpet putting down the hardwood. The Suns and the Lakers in this building tomorrow night. Game 3 of their NBA playoff series. But before the big guys take over the floor, let's go back downstairs to Jill.
Well, here on the AFL on TNN, we try to tell you a little something about the players you wouldn't pick up on just by watching the game. Take Hunky Cooper, for instance. You saw tonight how great he is on the field. But what you see on the field from Hunky is only the beginning of what you really get. His name is synonymous with arena football.
Touchdown, that's number 3 for Hunky.
Although small in stature, Hunky Cooper has become larger than life in Arizona.
You walk out of the tunnel and you see people just roar at your name, or you walk around the city of Phoenix and see your jersey on people's back. That lets people know that, it lets me know that people care about what I do and the way I do things.
Hunky Cooper has made a name for himself simply by being himself, a quality that makes him a fan favorite in a city full of pro athletes.
Never too big to sign an autograph. Never too big to hold a conversation with somebody, regardless to who it is. And I'm just me.
Hunky's rapport with his many fans and teammates is based on a mutual respect and appreciation, a trait found deeply rooted in the Cooper family. He lives his life dedicated to the values he learned growing up with 8 siblings in Palestine, Texas. The smallest physically of the 9 children, Hunky learned early on to let nothing keep him down, a lesson learned from his greatest role model.
My father's just, just a great man. He was a guy that just went out, he went to work and made sure his kids and his family was taken care of. He provided. He was a great provider for us under odd circumstances.
Hunky's father, James, a veteran of World War II, Korea, and the Vietnam War, died in 1984, long before his son would win an Arena Bowl title or be named Iron Man of the Year, accomplishments that Hunky admits would not have been possible without.
He died going to the 9th grade, and then was just becoming a man. But one thing he did was he taught me enough in 14 years to last a lifetime.
It's the same lifelong values and dedication that give way to Hunky Cooper's infectious attitude. Always smiling, always laughing, always willing to help those in need, especially his family. So when it came time to helping provide a football future for his cousin Lynn Magruder Jr., Hunky was more than willing.
Lynn's from a small town, the same town I'm from, Palestine, Texas, and there's not a lot of opportunity there. So I told Lynn if he maintained his grades and did the things he needed to do to be a great student athlete, then I would come get him and bring him to Las Vegas to live with me.
Lynn took care of his grades and Hunky took care of the rest, molding his cousin into a dominant 6'4", 295-pound defensive lineman now headed for big-time college football.
He's going to be a great asset to the University of Tennessee, and Tennessee is going to be a great asset to him, and I'm looking forward to going down and watching him play.
No matter if he's helping his team win games, helping his family, his friends, or his community, Hunky Cooper is definitely a throwback to the players of old. A giver without any thought of reward, a fighter ready for any opponent.
I think that's one of the greatest aspects he has, is that he's been able to endure
anything that anyone has thrown at him.
We respect him so much because of what he does on the field and in practice. We can't do without that guy. We need him, definitely.
Join us next week in Tampa for one of the more interesting matchups of the season when former Tampa Bay superstar George LaFrance and his new team, the New Jersey Red Dogs, challenge the Storm. Tampa Bay's offense is now led by Charles Wilson, who's looking to show why he's the man for the Storm. It's New Jersey at Tampa Bay next Thursday at 8 p.m. on TNN. Want to find out more about the game? Log on to AFLOnTNN.com. The final score here, Arizona 55, Los Angeles 28. When we come back, we'll wrap things up here at the America West.
The sun to switch antiperspirant.
Degree Invisible Solid? What's that?
I would assume it goes heats up Degree Invisible Solid with a clear difference. Degree Invisible Solid works hard but never shows.
After the match, there's a ton of girls. Gotta be cool.
It didn't have to end like this. Armor All Protecting. Armor All Car Wax. It's not just shine.
Taker on hand here at America West Arena. Saw an interesting one tonight. How do you think Marinovich did quickly, Sam?
He got better as the game went along. It's just part of a learning process. He'll be fine.
As for Arizona, I think they're back on the winning ways.
Yeah, last week was kind of an aberration. They're back. They didn't have 4 fumbles tonight, centered quarterback exchange problems.
So it's a good one tonight for the homestanding Arizona Rattlers as they pull off the 55-28 win over the Los Angeles Avengers. That's going to do it from the America West Arena. Hope you can join us next Thursday for more arena football as New Jersey visits Tampa Bay. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific from the Ice Palace in Tampa. This has been a presentation of the Arena Football League. Permission must be granted by the AFL for any reproduction or rebroadcast of this game. Arizona goes to 4-1. They win at 55-28 for Ed Cunningham, Sam White, and Jill Arrington. Eli Gold, good night from the Valley of the Sun.